Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. Boy, it has been a long, busy weekend for me, but I was still quite honestly connected and seeing some goings on, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We've titled tonight's show Once Upon a Time in Ufology, because I was thinking about my early days of interest in this topic. And it seems to me that a lot has changed, because once upon a time in ufology, we had real and credible researchers. Once upon a time in ufology, we had people, and by the way, I hate that term, ufology. It's not a science. It's a subject. So just say UFOs. So once upon a time in UFO land, we had credible researchers who, at least to me at the time, appeared to really care about getting to the truth, appeared to really care about telling the truth. And not so much, they did not care so much about just selling the next story, getting that next hit of money, selling that next course, selling that next documentary, selling that next conference appearance, selling that next, I don't know, behind my paywall special symposium. And to borrow a phrase from Bill Burr, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, this entire subject has been overrun, right? Absolutely overrun with UFO dollar gold diggers, right? There's an epidemic. There's an epidemic of UFO whores. And that's what they are. They're UFO whores. And they will spread their legs to sell you what they think you want. And that's problematic, because before, it appeared to me at least that we had credible researchers, people that you could use the term like of something like investigative journalist to describe what they did, even though they were sort of on the fringe side of things, right? Still, the term would apply to them. And now it appears that gone are the credible researchers, gone are the investigative journalists, and they have virtually all of those kind of people have been replaced, have been surpassed and eclipsed by the UFO gold digging whores. And now we have an epidemic of UFO gold digging whores. And we got to do something about this, because, think about somebody just starting in an interest in this subject and how much garbage peddlers they have to plow through. And so tonight we're going to be talking about a few of those garbage peddlers that I wish would slither away and go back under the rocks that they came out of, the slime balls of this thing, because it's just a cesspool here. And for anyone to argue with me over that salient fact that this whole subject is a cesspool of UFO whores, that's what we have here, a bunch of UFO whores. Super chat, grubbing, selling you the next course, buy my documentary, buy my book, get behind my paywall, become a member today. And by the way, in full disclosure, we have a channel membership here. But we are not selling garbage. We're not peddling the garbage stories that some people seem to love. And, it would be a statement of fact that I have other sources of income. I'm not, I'm not paying my bills out of the pledges that we get here and the super chats and the kind and generous benefactors that simply fuels the show here. And I would show anyone in a spreadsheet of where the money goes. And, it doesn't go to my bills. I'm not eating lobster dinners here with that money, or, living high off the hog, which is a saying my father used to say a lot. The people who are making their full-time living and all of their money out of UFOs are the problem. I mean, think about some of these people who you see. My favorite is the newest version of the UFO whore is the guy that's doing, 6 or 7 live streams a week begging for super chats because he's a loser and doesn't have any other income. That's why he's doing that. He's not doing that because he cares so much about this subject. He's doing that because he's a whore. He's a UFO whore. And, honestly, at times I completely think about walking away from this subject because I'm sick of the UFO whores, and I mentioned that the credible researchers and real investigative journalists that we used to have in this so-called field. I hate that too when people, I've been in the field for this many years. You're not in the field. You're never in the field. You're sitting behind a desk doing live streams begging for super chats, you asshole. You're not in any field. There is no field. It's a subject, an interest of some people's. Let's call it what it is. It's not a field. Oh, it's a field of research. No, it's not. It's a field of UFO whores. We've got a field, all right, and the whole field is infected, full of UFO whores. And I have to be very careful lest I become one of them. So I've been very careful to ensure that I have other revenue streams. I learned a long time ago from a very wealthy man that having like one revenue stream is a bad idea. Because if you have one revenue stream, whatever you're doing to generate that revenue stream, you got to keep doing no matter what, even if you start hating it. I think that's very good advice. For example, if you have a job and one paycheck and all of your money is coming from that one job, that one paycheck, even if you start hating your job, you got to show up every day. You got to keep doing it to keep that income, your sole income coming in. So if you really, we can develop a test for the UFO whore. The first test is, does he have multiple revenue streams or income sources, or is UFOs his sole income source or revenue stream? If his sole income source or revenue stream is UFOs, you can be 99% sure he's a UFO whore, especially if he's been doing this for decades, like some of these guys. So recently, too, I have noticed that there is a new crop of UFO show hosts, live stream people, podcasters who are now beginning to do UFO conferences and get those lucrative speaking fees. If somebody is talking at a UFO conference, they're probably a UFO whore. But you got to go back to the first, if they have other income sources and they're talking at a UFO conference or convention, well, that doesn't mean they're a UFO whore. But if their sole income is UFOs and they're speaking at a UFO conference, they're a UFO whore. All right, I got to stop saying that word because of the algorithm. But you get the idea. And recently, some events have transpired, which just made me shake my head, because apparently the Wilson documents are back again, right? No matter how many times people prove that that's garbage, it just keeps coming back. It's like a bad case of VD. Just keeps coming back. You could put some cream on that Wilson documents, but like bad VD, it just keeps coming back. So now apparently the story involves Okie Shannon, who is saying, oh yeah, Admiral Wilson once asked me if Eric Davis was trustworthy. And we're talking about something that may or may not have happened 22 years ago, I have been very vocal in my criticism of the so-called Wilson documents. Why doesn't Eric Davis grow a set of balls and tell us if he wrote them or not? We don't even know if he wrote them. He'll say, well, they did come out of Edgar Mitchell's estate. That's great. But Richard Dolan and others have pushed these garbage notes for years. And if you listen to Richard Dolan, and by the way, I have listened to, I think there's 14 hours of Richard Dolan pushing this garbage. And he brings in Mr. X, who then brings in more Mr. X's. That's right. All kinds of anonymous sources. You need anonymous sources to prop this up and believe it. Let's see, what else do you need? You need to believe that a decorated Navy admiral doesn't know the difference between a faked top secret document and a real one. Because as the story originated, Stephen Greer showed this NRO document to the Admiral, Tom Wilson, who then said, yeah, I'm going to look into this based on looking at this document and what this document says. I'm going to look into this. And then he went on a mission to try to find those alien crash retrievals. But there's a huge problem. And now the story has morphed, right? You got to retcon it when the shit starts hitting the fan and the whole story starts falling apart. And you've been pushing this fake story for years like an idiot, like Richard Dolan did. Now they change it around. Oh, the NRO document had nothing to do with it. John from the Black Vault, who anybody in a court of law or a judge or a jury, prosecutor, anybody would consider John from the Black Vault an expert in government documents based on his years of, getting government documents and examining them and archiving them and reporting on them. He's an expert. He took one look at the NRO document and said, this is fake. This whole document is fake. There's a problem with the seal. There's a problem with the classification. There's a problem with this. There's a problem with that. The whole document that all of the Wilson document story is based on. Remember, Stephen Greer showed this document to the Admiral, who then looked at that information in that document and said, whoa, I got to look into this. Friends, a decorated Navy Admiral has staff. He would have taken that document. If he did initially believe it and didn't know on his own that it was fake, he would give it to some member of his staff to vet. Check this document, find its source, make sure it's legitimate. And his staff would have looked at it just like John from the Black Vault did and said, this is fake, this is fake, this is fake, this is fake, this is a fake document. It's a hoaxed document. Further, the entire Admiral Wilson story, the entire Wilson document story begins with Dr. Stephen Greer, the biggest fraud, faker, money-grubbing, I can't say it again, money-grubbing lady of the night in this entire thing. This man, Stephen Greer, had, a free energy charity where he collected some $500,000 and nobody knows what happened to all that money. He's crowdfunded his documentaries to the tune of millions and millions and millions of dollars, even though it doesn't cost anywhere near that much to make a documentary. But hey, and most recently, Dr. Stephen Greer, according to the Cousins Brothers idiots and their documentary, went on a secret mission to an underground base with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top fame. So sure, that's a credible way to start a story, right? What a credible way to start a story. And by the way, Lindsay Gardner, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Lindsay Gardner just became a YouTube channel member, and you can too for as little as $5 a month. And you get all the Patreon benefits and a member badge and a priority reply and all these extra goodies. But we tell people the truth here. We're not peddling garbage. So the Wilson documents are all based on Stephen Greer. I challenge anyone, show me another story from Stephen Greer that turns out to be 100% true. We're supposed to believe that this admiral met with a UFO huckster like Greer, who showed him And this is verifiably factual. We can determine with facts and evidence that Dr. Stephen Greer showed this admiral a 100% hoaxed fake document. And we're supposed to believe that that admiral didn't know that document was fake, believed that document 100%, and then went off on a mission, a secret mission, to find out who had those alien crash retrievals, who had the bodies, who had all of the material, where was that stuff being kept, who was studying it. He went on a secret mission to find out the truth. Just like Dr. Stephen Greer went on a secret mission with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top to an underground base where they saw medical technology that could regrow limbs and fix broken backs, and it was all based on alien technology, right? Sure, all of this sounds completely plausible. But these stupid people that push this UFO garbage story, they got to keep pushing it. Some of them, like UFO Joe and Richard Dolan and this Project Unity dummy, have been pushing this story for years. If they just throw their hands up and go, yeah, it's all fake, they're going to look stupid. And Grant Cameron, right? These guys have been pushing this story for a long time. And I suppose the new revelation is that we've got notes from another guy that we think corroborate these other notes that we still haven't proven are real. So we've got one set of notes that we know are real, and we think they prove these other notes that we don't know are real or not. We don't even know if Eric Davis actually wrote any of that, went to the meeting or anything, because Eric Davis is a pussy and a coward, and he won't tell us the truth. Oh, I've got I've got government contracts, and I've got no. Eric Davis is a crackpot. The Air Force spent a lot of money giving him money, and he developed these theoretical physics papers where he was showing pictures of Barney the dinosaur and Einstein in a Stargate. That's what we, the taxpayers, got from Eric Davis. And a newspaper article in the 80s called what he did crackpot research. So there's your guy, even if he did write these notes, a crackpot researcher, garbage peddler, Mr. Wannabe UFO guy, right? Who likes to pretend that he's in on all these projects and secrets, and maybe he is for all I know. But why can't he just tell us the truth? Did you meet with Tom Wilson, the Admiral? Did you write these notes? Did you give him the Edgar Mitchell? And by the way, who got those notes out of Edgar Mitchell's estate? We're not supposed to know, right? We're not supposed to know who got those notes, but then they were given to Grant Cameron and Richard Dolan and a few other people. Then they were put on Imager, a public website. And the debate has raged ever since. But it's important to note that the admiral involved with these notes has denied them. But, the believers say, the notes said that he would deny it if he was ever asked about this. Sure. It's just garbage peddling nonsense. But Stephen Greenstreet is one of the few people that I'm aware of that was able to actually get to Tom Wilson, the admiral, and get statements from him. And here's one of them. I don't even know who Eric Davis is. I may have crossed paths with him at some time, but I don't know who he is. Next, we get a statement where he says, it's ridiculous. None of the things in that memo are true. I'm denying this meeting ever occurred. It's all BS. And by the way, at the time this meeting was supposed to have occurred, Mr. Admiral Wilson was on the other side of the country, and he can prove that. He can prove that he was on the other side of the country and hadn't been to the state of Nevada in many, many years. But hey, do some more mental gymnastics, claim that a decorated Navy admiral is lying so that you can sell your garbage stories. And that's what this is. It's garbage peddlers are selling this story as true. And they can't prove it's true, and they never will prove it's true, but they'll keep selling you the story through monetized YouTube videos, through talking about these fake memos at conferences, putting it in documentaries. The garbage peddling is for real with this situation. So, and kudos, good for Stephen Greenstreet for actually getting an on-the-record statement saying that these stories are fake. And the person who is now pushing new notes or we're going to use these notes to back up these other fake notes is Project Unity, Ross Coulthart. Let's see. I'm sure Richard Dolan and UFO Joe are going to get in on this garbage, right? Say, oh, see, we told you they're real. Now we have a guy who says that Admiral Wilson once asked him if Eric Davis was trustworthy. So the notes must be true. This is the mental gymnastics you have to do to believe in this fairy tale. This is a fairy tale, and anybody pushing this fairy tale is an idiot. And I'll be the first to apologize the minute that we have 100% confirmed proof that the events described in those notes 100% took place. We never will. We never will. That's my prediction. You will never, what we will probably eventually 100% be able to disprove that these notes took place. And I believe the key to that will be the itinerary of a certain person who was supposed to be in attendance. In fact, two certain people that were supposed to be in attendance. Because what if it could be proved that Eric Davis was not in the state of Nevada on the day that those notes were supposedly taken down? What if it could be proved 100% that Admiral Wilson was not in the state of Nevada or anywhere near that EG&G building on the date that these notes were supposed to be taken? Then the entire story will fall to shit. But the garbage peddlers won't apologize for pushing it for years. How much money has Ross Coulthart made pushing this garbage? Right? It's in his books. It's in some of his other projects. How much money has Richard Dolan made pushing this garbage story? How much money has Project Unity made? And by the way, this dumbass, Project Unity, was trying to, I'm still a little unclear. He's trying to block the release of these other notes from Okie Shannon somehow and encourage people to get behind his paywall where you can read them. But luckily, the truth prevails and people have put them in other places on the internet. You don't have to pay that idiot, the garbage peddling idiot. And by the way, this Project Unity guy is from England, and he is a garbage peddler UFO whore. And he is a echo chamber for the stupid people like Ross Coulthart and Richard Dolan and all these other garbage peddlers. He's one of their butt lickers. Project Unity is a UFO celebrity huckster butt licker. That's his job, is to lick the buttholes of people like Ross Coulthart, people like Richard Dolan, and other people pushing garbage, fake stories. And he has the discernment of a mentally disabled man, from what I've seen. So I have been, honestly, I think that he is so low IQ, this show host from Project Unity. He is so low IQ that he is probably borderline, mentally impaired. He has to be, because he's just too stupid to be a normal walking around average man of intelligence. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something off there. So I have tried to be kind and not go after that guy too much, because I believe that he is mentally impaired based on some things that I have seen him push. And we also have to, let's show you, for an example, some of the things that Project Unity has pushed as true stories. And we'll get an education into just how stupid this man is. And here we are. This man posted pictures of that someone took from inside a Bob Lazar Area 51 model and claimed that they were real. Project Unity here says the story behind these images will be explained soon when my interview with Johnny Enoch goes up. These images and others challenge my skepticism profoundly, but the story behind it has made me think that these could actually be real. And of course, Johnny Enoch was a UFO huckster who essentially took pictures from inside a Bob Lazar Area 51 sport model. And people have matched up these images. It's 100% pictures taken inside a goddamn model. But this idiot was doing interviews with the guy who took the pictures, telling people these pictures are real. These could actually be real. This challenged my normally very critical skepticism. He's not a skeptic. My God, he believed that these images were real, pictures of inside an alien spacecraft, and this is a real image of an alien. Bruce R. Fenton says it was apparently photos of a model of the alleged Lazar saucers, unfortunately. I don't know how you say that, but Duke, we'll just call him Duke. I've been hearing that for months. Jay ignored me. Months. All he had to do is take the 10 seconds out of his day and say that. I felt extremely disrespected. He could have even said, hey, man, I don't want to answer that. Nope, the dude just blocks me. Sectanic says because they are fake, and he knows it. Just like he had an insider in the UAPTF. His dumb A actually believed it was legit because he's so gullible. This is how gullible Project Unity is. And now you may understand why I've been careful to criticize him, because I really think that he is like a little mentally not there, a little impaired mentally as a human. And I don't want to make fun of somebody that, you know, maybe borderline MR or whatever you want to call it. But anybody that would believe that these may be real, I think has a real cognitive problem. They have something wrong in their brain to even entertain that these may be real. I just don't get it. And of course, my only interaction with Project Unity, when he was going to interview Ross Coulthart about his latest, remember the big bluff where Ross Coulthart basically said, we have conclusive proof of alien technology, right? In all the trailers, they had conclusive proof of alien technology on Earth, right? So I asked him to ask him, why did he lie in the trailers? And of course, I got crickets, and he didn't answer any of those questions. He did what he always does with these UFO celebrity hucksters. He did the UFO circle jerk and sat there and let Ross Coulthart just spew more lies and more garbage. And by the way, this guy not only tried to peddle this garbage, he has peddled the Wilson document, the stupid sphere story from Ross Coulthart, right? And all of Ross Coulthart's garbage, he helps him peddle it. He is a BS amplifier. You got somebody that's got some BS? Come on into my show and I will help you amplify your BS. Project Unity is absolutely a disinformation agent. He is actively helping to push fake stories into the UFO community. He is actively engaged in pushing fake stories with fake information, with fake evidence into the UFO community. And I love how he had a post recently about disinformation in the UFO community. He is the disinformation in the UFO community. Why doesn't he grow a set of balls and ask Ross Coulthart why he lied in all of his promos, right? Why doesn't he grow a set of balls and do some real investigatory work? Is this his idea of investigating a story? Somebody sent him pictures of inside a model, and he was ready, friends, but he jumped the gun. He was ready to run with this fake story over here. But he got called out on it, and people compared the pictures to the Area 51, sport model, Bob Lazar model. And then suddenly he pulled the story and he deleted all the tweets. The coward. Why didn't you leave these tweets up, Project Unity? Why didn't you leave these up if this is what you really believed? Is it because maybe this makes you look childish? Maybe this makes you look stupid? Maybe this makes you look like the gullible fool that you are, Project Unity. And why are you trying to put notes that you don't own behind your paywall so people have to join your Patreon to read them? Is it because you're a UFO whore? Is that why? I think so. You are one of the epidemic of UFO gold diggers. And here's another thing that pisses me off. Project Unity, why don't you get out of American or United States ufology? Why don't you cover what's going on in England and leave the United States to people who live here, right? No, you're going to come here from England and suck money away from the American show hosts who deserve the money, who do real investigative work, who ask hard questions and don't just amplify and help spread disinformation like you do. Maybe he's a CIA guy. They love English guys for some reason. Somebody told me that. I don't know why that is. But he apparently is from England. Why are so many idiots from England coming here and spreading garbage fake information with garbage fake people, garbage fake UFO celebrities, garbage fake stories, garbage fake evidence? And here's the evidence that he is a coward and he's in on it. Here's the evidence that he's in on it. When Ross Coulthart lied, and I'm going to say that, Ross Coulthart lied through his teeth in his promos for a YouTube video, which, by the way, is against YouTube's terms of service. You can't lie in your YouTube promos to get people to click on something, telling them that you have conclusive proof of alien technology when you don't. He didn't have any proof. He made that shit up. He made it all up. And who helped him push that garbage piece? Project Unity. Project Unity was all in, helping Ross Coulthart lie to everyone. Good job. Good job. So we're going to take a look here at some proof that Ross Coulthart lied in his promotional material for that piece, and we know it's established fact that Project Unity didn't ask him why he lied in the promos, even though many people wanted him to ask why he lied in the promos. He didn't do that. Why would this man not ask him about the proof of alien technology that he promised everyone in the promo? Why would he not ask him why he lied, right? I don't understand how this works, right? I don't understand how any of this works, right? So let's take a look, friends. Let's take a look at the promises that Ross made. And remember, right after these promos were released, Project Unity was there to help him get people to click on this clickbait garbage. Let's get into it, friends. Here's the proof that Project Unity is a UFO gold digger. If he was serious about the truth, he would have asked Ross about this, but he didn't. He sat there like a dummy and gave him the circle jerk. Here's what Ross Coulthart promised everybody in the promo right before he was interviewed by Project Unity.
And can I just say, even though I'm not entirely comfortable at times with the way they sensationalize in their promos, because I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top at times.
What you're seeing here is momentous.
You think that's alien technology?
Yes, I do.
I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top.
We have new, conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
Tad over the top at times.
Is it possible to exceed the speed of light? The answer is yes.
The biggest discovery in human history.
Promos for our story were a tad over the top.
New evidence that has to be seen to be believed.
7 News Spotlight, Sunday on 7 and 7 Plus.
Not entirely comfortable at times with the way they sensationalize in their promos, because I thought the promos for our story were a tad over the top at times.
That's not a tad over the top. That's lying. We have conclusive proof of alien technology, the greatest discovery in human history. That's not over sensationalizing. That's lying to people. And Project Unity let him lie, right? Because Ross Coulthart is another coward who won't do real interviews. Just like Lou Elizondo, Ross Coulthart won't come to a show where the host is skeptical or has real questions. He will only go to the UFO circle jerkers. And isn't it funny? We've got two foreigners now, one Australian dummy and one English dummy in the form of Project Unity, both collaborating together and colluding together to push fake, false information into the United States. Why are two foreign nationals pushing 100% provably fake information into the United States and into the UFO community? Why are two foreign nationals allowed to essentially commit consumer fraud? Because that's what this is. When you tell people you have conclusive proof of alien technology, see our new mini documentary on YouTube. And by the way, I haven't checked, but they've made tens of thousands of dollars pushing this whole fake thing. And Project Unity helped them push this whole fake thing. And Project Unity colluded with him. There's no other explanation. And this is my opinion, of course, but I'm entitled to it, because a real show host who wasn't a UFO gold digger would have asked Ross Coulthart, why did you lie? Why did you lie in your promos? And Ross Coulthart did the whole backpedal thing after the piece came out and everybody saw that he lied in his promos. By the way, where is Team YouTube when a foreign entity in the form of an Australian television news station, I couldn't get away with that? That's deceptive practices. I would lose my YouTube channel if I made a fake promo promising conclusive proof of alien technology, and then there was no proof of anything in the actual piece I was pointing people to click on. I would lose my YouTube channel. Why does Australia News 7 get to keep their YouTube channel when they clearly use deceptive practices, when they clearly lied in their promos? And I've heard all the bull excuses of the supporters of this Australian idiot. Oh, he didn't do that. The news, he said the news station over sensationalized. You know what? Then you quit. You resign. You have ethics and morality. You don't let them use your face and your voice. And by the way, he stood there like a dummy reading and recording the voiceover for that promo where he was lying to everybody. But everybody's going to somehow absolve him of any responsibility of lying to everybody? No, you don't get to just squirm out of it. You stood there and read the text of the promo lying to everyone. If you were not ethically and morally okay with that, you should have told your bosses, I'm not going to lie in the promo for this piece. It's too much. But he didn't do that. He stood there taking that check, right? He gets a check every week from News 7. And his job is making UFO garbage stories for stupid Americans, apparently. Let's look at more proof that he lied in those promos, friends.
I probably would be more cautious about in terms of how we present it is the sphere story, for the simple fact that we just don't know yet whether it is or it isn't non-human technology.
We have new conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
Frankly, whilst a lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology, we're not going to say that.
We have new conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
This renowned scientist confirms it all.
Whilst a lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology, we're not going to say that because that's a terrible danger.
We have new conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
A lot of people want us to say, yeah, it's alien technology. We're not going to say that.
Alien technology.
This renowned scientist confirms it all.
We're not going to say that.
New conclusive proof.
Testable evidence of alien technology.
This renowned scientist confirms it all.
We're not going to say that, for the simple fact that we just don't know yet whether it is or it isn't non-human technology.
And there we have it. And by the way, I did see this comment. Nick Manser says, YouTube is global. Why does he think it's just the US? No, they are shoveling fake information into the conversation. And all the stories that they're pushing involve United States witnesses, right? He came over to the United States talking to Michio Kaku. He came over to the United States talking to the steel ball guy. He came over to the United States talking to Gary Nolan. And he's a foreign national, and he's pushing fake information, largely marketed at United States citizens. So that's why I said that. Yeah. And so listen, I've got one more thing to share on this. Now Project Unity, who, by the way, signed off on Ross Coulthart lying to everybody, didn't even bother to ask him why he lied in those promos on that piece, is now trying to block the release of these notes because he apparently, from my understanding, has them behind a paywall. Grant Cameron was going to release them and says on Twitter, Project Unity has now blocked the Shannon release. He says that's not true at all. It's still unclear what's happening here. Strafe Wilson says, kid, you see the difference. He discovered CE5, and it's all warm milk and cookies from here for the poor wee boy. Tantrums and thumb sucking, unfortunately. A big fan of Greedy Greer. That's another person who this person helps. Project Unity helps all of the UFO gold diggers. All those UFO celebrities pushing fake, false information like Dr. Stephen Greer, like apparently this Ross Coulthart and others, he's on board with helping, right? And Designation UAP says, I did find it amusing that on the video that came out with him interviewing Oki, as soon as it started, the promo bar for Patreon came on. Always surprising me that it's all about the monies on this important one. And of course, we have King Milk Fart. Great, great. And here's Project Unity saying, we are so much stronger when we work as a team. Wish more researchers understood this instead of maintaining a territorial corner. Well, I'm not maintaining any territorial corner. In fact, you're welcome to come here and answer for why you're being a UFO gold digger and trying to gain exclusive rights to these notes that you don't own and put them behind a paywall and tell everybody to join your Patreon, right? Before, Grant Cameron said, Okie Shannon notes have been cleared. Nicole Sakak and I will go live with documents, 26 pages tomorrow. Yeah, and people are going to Twitter to get the Cliff Notes version instead. To be honest, after watching the Okie Shannon interview and then rereading the Wilson document notes, I still can't see how Shannon stating that Wilson called him Reed Davis proves that anything else stated in the notes was actually said by Wilson or that the meeting never happened. That's all we have. We have Okie Shannon saying that Tom Wilson once asked me if Eric Davis was trustworthy. And the people are now reaching, the people that believe these stupid Wilson notes are now reaching and saying, that must mean they're true. It's mental gymnastics. This is what these people have to do. They have to connect a bunch of dots that don't exist, right? It's ridiculous. So we're going to go to another UFO gold digger, and that would be Third Phase of Moon. You know, the guys that make like $500 a video pushing totally fake UFOs, right? Great, great. But on Project Unity, I will say that I believe that there's a road to redemption for everybody. Maybe he's just too stuck on the believer side. That's why when people send him fake hokey pictures, he wants to run and tell everybody it's a true story. These are real pictures of aliens and real pictures of inside an alien spacecraft. And maybe that's why he doesn't ask critical questions of people who are literally lying to us in their promotional materials. Or he doesn't ask critical questions of people like Stephen Greer, who were running around telling everybody that he went on a secret mission with Billy Gibbons to an underground base where they had alien technology that could regrow limbs. I never heard him ask Stephen Greer about that garbage peddled story, right? You know, I try to be fair, but this guy is a bad actor. And I don't mean as in he's an actor. I mean a bad actor as in bad actor. He's here for the money. He has injected himself into all the stories of UFOs in the United States. He's not from here. He doesn't live here. And quite honestly, maybe I am territorial, because why doesn't he cover English UFOs and leave us Americans to cover American UFOs, right? And I'm supposed to compete with a guy who will sit there and, you know, that's how you get the big guests. Let's be very clear. Some of these big guests who will not come here, even when asked, won't come here for a reason, friends, because I will question them and their garbage peddled narrative will fall apart under scrutiny. They won't come here. So they have to use stupid people like Project Unity in order to amplify the garbage that they are peddling. So that's what Project Unity is. He's a UFO gold digging, garbage peddling enabler and amplifier. That's what his channel is there for. That's what his function is in this. That and making as much money off of stupid people as he possibly can. So, you know, and to be quite honest, yeah, I'm getting burnt out and I'm getting pissed off that all you have to do, you know, 3 times, 10 times, 100 times the subscribers that I can do here is be willing to lie to people, lie by omission, or just swallow your pride, swallow your ethics, swallow your morality, and any sense of doing the right thing, and help the garbage peddlers peddle their information, right? And now I, for one, believe in freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and that everybody should have a place at the table. But I believe there should be people that are gatekeepers that say, excuse me, you've been caught selling fake garbage many, many times. You're not welcome here anymore. And we just don't have that. Instead, we get UFO circle jerking UFO gold diggers like Project Unity, right? Now he wants to control notes that he doesn't even own and put them behind his paywall and not allow Grant Cameron or others to release the notes or talk about them, so that you have to go and click on his crappy video to get the story or see what's going on with that. And in a nutshell, here's what's going on with that. Stupid people that believe the Wilson Davis notes are real are now saying, because one guy said Admiral Tom Wilson once asked if Eric Davis is trustworthy, that somehow means that everything in those notes is true. You see the mental gymnastics? You see what you have to do? The dots you have to connect that aren't even there to believe this? And to stupid people like Project Unity and UFO Joe and Richard Dolan and others who are making, by the way, all of them making thousands of dollars telling people that these notes are real without any evidence or any conclusive proof they are, right? They're making thousands of dollars peddling this garbage story. I'm just disgusted with this whole thing. And that's how you become successful. You just push garbage, fake stories with these notes that even the principal actor, the principal person in the notes said they're all fake. And the other guy in the notes can't confirm that he wrote them. But we're all going to make thousands of dollars telling everybody that everything in those notes is real. And this is the problem with this whole thing. This is how you become successful. Throw your ethics in the garbage, like Richard Dolan interviewing dead people, right? Or taking part in the Roswell slides hoax, right? And everybody just forget that he scammed people how many times with fake stories, right? And by the way, Richard Dolan, why isn't anybody commenting on the fact that Richard Dolan has a child rapist working with and for him at KGRA? Why won't Richard Dolan comment on the fact that he works with a child rapist to sell his fake alien stories? And by the way, Richard Dolan, you should fire whoever is working your social media for you. Because if somebody replied to one of my tweets, even if I was paying somebody to manage my social media, if somebody under my employment did not notify me about somebody talking about me working with and for a child rapist in a reply to one of my tweets, I would fire them immediately. I would fire them immediately. And here we're going to show you proof. I've been doing this for days. I've been doing this every day. Every day, Richard Dolan I follow on Twitter. So when he posts something stupid, and he usually does just about every day, I reply to him. Oh, look at that. I've now been blocked by Richard Dolan, apparently. 1 second. We can do it in an incognito. Oh, so that's what Richard Dolan's going to do now. When I'm letting people know that he works with and for a child rapist, he has now decided to block me. Or it says, you are unable to view this tweet because this account owner limits who can view their tweets. I don't know how that works, but let me see. I will try and find it another way. I have it here. It's at ID official. I'm going to try to go and see if it says he blocked me. I believe that Richard Dolan may have blocked me because I'm letting people know that he works with a child rapist. Let me see. Oh, yes, I am blocked. Let's share that. Let's let everybody know that Richard Dolan is a coward. And because I'm letting people know that he works with a child rapist, knowingly works with a child rapist, apparently, he has blocked me, right? 1 second. Let me make sure that I'm getting this. Let me close down a few things. Gets a little I get a little confused when I have so many tabs open. So I don't want to share the wrong thing. 1 second. We're going to share this here. So I have to go to an incognito window to show you this. And this may be the reason that I got blocked by Richard Dolan, the coward, the intellectual weakling who doesn't want to talk about how he works with a child rapist at KGRA. Richard Dolan Intelligent Disclosure posts, UFOs, the most important thing we aren't talking about. And my reply was, here's an important thing you're not talking about. Is that your producer too, or just your program director? And I referenced our work on revealing, it was exclusive story here, that everybody that is on KGRA, the Paranormal Podcast Network, is working with and for a convicted child rapist, a violent convicted child rapist who is right now a registered sex offender, having been convicted of a crime, a sex crime involving a 13-year-old boy. Richard Dolan does not like me reminding people that he has not commented on working with and for a convicted child rapist at his podcast network, KGRA. So he has decided to block me. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. And I will show you the proof here that Richard Dolan blocked me because I posted that earlier today on his Twitter. 1 second. Let me see here. Let's get rid of that. 1 second. So Richard Dolan has blocked me because he doesn't want to talk about working with and for a child rapist. And I'm not sure, to be honest with you, that pedo producer program director, who, by the way, was hired by Jimmy Church's guy who started KUNX for Jimmy Church and Christina Gomez. That's the guy who knowingly hired the child rapist to work at KGRA with all these UFO celebrities. So Richard Dolan has blocked me because I said, here's something important that you're not talking about, in reply to his tweet about important stuff about UFOs nobody's talking about. What's more important, Richard Dolan? Important stuff about UFOs nobody's talking about? Or the fact that nobody's talking about how all these UFO celebrities are working with the child rapist and we're all not supposed to know? We're all not supposed to care. Richard Dolan works with a child rapist. So what is the deal here, Richard Dolan? Why have you blocked me? Was it not factual, what I wrote? I asked a question. Are you an intellectual weakling and a coward, so much so that you can't answer a question? Is this child rapist your producer or just your program director, Richard Dolan? That's a valid question. And another valid question would be, do you need money so badly, Richard Dolan, that you will knowingly work with or for a child rapist to distribute your information, your show? Ask me again why I'm disgusted with this whole thing. We caught Richard Dolan with his pants down how many times now? Boy, that's not a good look. It's not a good mental image either. Let's try to come up with better analogies. We caught Richard Dolan red-handed selling fake stories. Remember when he lied and told everybody that he was getting classified information and then he had to walk that back? Does anybody remember when he helped promote the Roswell slides hoax and then laughed at everybody who lost money or gave money to a 100% provable hoax? Does anybody remember when he interviewed a dead man and didn't know that the guy had already died that he was supposed to be interviewing? According to several sources, the man already was dead. So who did Richard Dolan interview to sell that fake story about aliens? Now we've got Richard Dolan verifiably working with a convicted child rapist and not wanting to answer any questions about that. But remember, friends, I'm the bad guy for asking those questions. I've said it before, I will say it again, and I will submit to you, my friends, that the only people who fear questions are people with something to hide. He does not want all of his fans to know that he's working with a convicted child rapist pedophile. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. In fact, I was not aware that I was blocked. But what I was going to say earlier is that why Richard Dolan pays someone to handle his social media. Why is the person that handles his social media not fired? Because I've been posting that pedo producer thing every day for a week or two. Now, I didn't post it, a lot, but just every day I would ask Richard Dolan, why are you working for a convicted child rapist? And is this your producer, or is this just your pedo program director for your show? Right? I think it's worse if that's the producer of his show is a convicted child rapist. So I wanted to know, why is the person who Richard Dolan pays to handle his social media not fired? Because ask yourself this question. If you had an employee who didn't come to you the first time somebody replied asking about why you're working with the child rapist, right? It took weeks. And I still don't know if Richard Dolan's employee who runs his Twitter let him know that he's working for a convicted pedo. But now we're all supposed to, pretend that Richard Dolan doesn't know he's working for a pedo producer, because I'm going to force him to make a statement about this. I'm not sure how. I don't know if force is the right word. I am going to do everything that I can legally, morally, and ethically to make Richard Dolan answer the question that apparently just got me blocked, which is this child rapist your producer of your show, or just your program director at KGRA who distributes your show? Which one is it? Or both? Is he your producer? Do you have a pedophile program director, or do you have a pedophile program director and a pedophile producer as well for your KGRA show? I think that these are valid questions. And why has Richard Dolan not, number one, fired the person who runs his Twitter? Number two, why has Richard Dolan not resigned or pulled his show from a paranormal network that knowingly employs child rapists, violent child rapists, not just a child rapist, a violent child-related sexual predator, Richard Dolan? So I guess you could call this Richard Dolan section of tonight's show a bonus, because I didn't even know about this. But this is more proof that Richard Dolan is an intellectual weakling and a coward. He's an intellectual weakling and a coward. Why would you knowingly work for or with a child rapist, Richard Dolan? Do you think that's going to help your already tarnished reputation, right? People are getting wise to you, Richard Dolan, knowing that you push garbage, fake stories with fake sources, right? And Richard Dolan used to be one of those people I thought was credible when I did not dig beneath the surface, right? He has that air of legitimacy, the tie, and he looks like a college professor. That's his act. His act is pretending to be a credible researcher. He's not. He's a garbage peddling UFO gold digger like all the rest. And what proof? What proof do we have that Richard Dolan is a UFO gold digger? Only a UFO gold digger who only cares about money would knowingly work with or for a child rapist, a real man with ethics and morality. As soon as they heard they were working with the child rapist, would pull their show from that network and put it somewhere else. Put it somewhere else. Apparently, Richard Dolan needs the money so badly that he's willing to risk his own reputation in letting people find out that he is knowingly, apparently, working with a child rapist. Great, great. This just made my already sterling mood today even worse. But it's about to get better. It's about to get better because couple of the other of my favorite garbage peddlers are third phase of fake. These guys make $500 a video sitting there pretending that they're showing you a UFO video, even when they know exactly what that object in the sky is. We've proved it here. Astral Citizens proved it. They peddle garbage. And Alien Scientist Show must be where people go to argue with third phase of moon or tell them that they're stupid. This one wasn't quite as aggressive as me, but Blake Cousins went on third phase of moon. And what you have to know about Blake and Brent Cousins is what they desperately want is to be considered credible or good by intelligent, smart researchers into this phenomenon. But they never will be, because they started out hoaxers and they're still hoaxers and garbage peddlers. A few things have changed, like now they employ an attack dog in the form of goof-on idiot, right, to attack their critics. And their modus operandi is to have Rich call people who criticize them pedos or imply they're pedos with absolutely no evidence. Rich has done that to at least 2 show hosts that I am aware of for them, right? That's part of his job, defend the BS hucksters that he works for. While he's calling everybody else a fraud, he's working for the biggest frauds in this thing. But anyway, we have Jack Sarfati, who is a near as I can tell, I'm not very plugged into the world of physics, but I've heard his name many, many times. He's very interested in UFOs, and he is also a physicist. So he was on Alien Scientist, and along comes Blake Cousins to pretend that he's credible, bragging about, and I love how he listened to this. He brags that he had the top-rated documentaries on Netflix or something, and his documentaries are full of garbage, fake information. So way to brag, but this guy gave a smackdown to them, which was pretty funny, and we are going to review it because it's just that good, friends. And let's get into it. One second. I'm going to put up my fair use banner. This is fair use. This is transformative work. I'm sure that Jeremy won't mind us sharing our show. He and I sort of have an understanding. He can share anything from my show. I can share things from his show. But I'm still going to cite fair use just in case, because we'll be discussing the video we're sharing and critiquing the video that we're sharing. We're having an open discussion. This is a transformative work. This is fair use and certainly allowable by law. And I should mention that many people were concerned that Jeremy from Alien Scientist is sort of going to get on the third phase of moon payroll. For those that are not aware, I've discussed this previously. Third phase tries to pay off and buy other YouTube channels. They try to buy me. And they thought I was a cheap whore, but I don't go cheap. Wouldn't take the shitty deal they offered me that would have also, I'm sure, involved me keeping silent about their fakery, fraudery, and bull. I didn't take the deal, but many other people do. And they buy up little channels so that they can pretend they have support in the UFO community and they can get more people to support them and push their garbage documentaries. Yeah. So this is from Alien Scientist Show. It's titled Pentagon Puts a UFO in the NIM Aviation Intelligence logo. Yeah, I don't understand all the hubbub about that, but okay. Let's get into it, friends. All right. And I've queued it to just before Blake comes in and gets his butt handed to him by a real physicist.
Interesting. It's just another connection. I'm going to open it up for some questions. I had some
All right.
people that wanted to join on.
Yeah, I've been talking too much. Okay.
We got some questions for you here because I want to open it up to the audience. I'm gonna bring we got Blake Cousins on from Third Phase of the Moon. Blake, you got a question for Jack?
Hey, Jack. Hey, Jeremy, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. Hey, you just texted me about the they just took that logo down off the website.
Yeah. Within about 60 seconds of me finding out, I saw that you were talking about it. And I'm like, well, let me just give Jeremy a heads up that they removed it. They removed it approximately an hour and a half
Kate
ago.
Schneider is here.
It's gone.
Good to see you.
Why am I not surprised? You know what?
I know.
You know what I think may have happened? What may have happened is some Russian hacker or some Chinese hacker, even Iranian hacker, got in.
It's interesting.
Website, stuck it in there as a joke.
They're not claiming that it was a joke. They were saying there was some reasoning behind why they removed it, but they're not admitting that it was a hack. But it definitely was. We did a lot of work yesterday to find out if this website.
I'm pretty sure somebody.
Excuse me? Oh,
nerd.
I guess I'll get.
That was it was too good to be true. No, it was a joke. It was a hack. I thought it was. As soon as I saw it, I thought it can't be real.
No, Jack, you're
stupid.
No, it was a military. Okay, I guess sorry, I can't talk. I can't get a Jack. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Again, last night we were looking to see if this were fake, and we noticed right away that it wasn't a .gov. But then when we looked at the .mil is a DoD website for their department to send and do correspondence and their websites, etc. And what we found out, it was definitely in their .mil. So they couldn't have faked it, but could it have been hacked? Well, this is a theory that you bring up, Jack. But right now, at the moment, we did a little bit more research, and they're not admitting that it was a hack. They did admit that they took it down, and maybe it's something that was in-house.
Glad to hear it.
And there was some discrepancies between whoever put it up. They're not really giving details, but they're not saying that it was a leak. Well, it was erroneously posted on an unofficial and incorrect logo. But then if you look at it and ask the question, erroneously posted and unofficial. So how it just, to me, I think that's one of these excuses that they're going to be putting out. Maybe somebody was trying to tell us something and then they took it off.
It was probably just some mole, some UFO mole that's inside the office there, inside. Yeah, but the guys in the military are, not as probably a little smarter than their bosses. So, okay.
But it's just, it is interesting. You just got to think about it in the way disclosure may come forward or not. And we predicted yesterday when we're looking at this that this will be removed within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Basically like the government official pin that we broke about S4, and that's a whole different discussion. But it was an official government pin.
Oh God, come on, man.
Their point is with doing this, but I'm glad we caught it, and I'm glad I was shown at the beginning of the show while it was still up, and showed people how to get to those.
Yeah,
that was
the whole thing of disclosure now is passé. I mean, the disclosure is here. It's been around for a long time.
This, in my opinion, what we're looking at was it seemed that it was almost a preparation for a false alien attack, as some people think that may happen. And
Uri Geller says it's going to happen, but of course,
Yeah, Carol Rawson said that.
Carol Rawson, the final card, the last card. Yeah,
Ron told her this and warned her about it too.
Well, you want to know something? I hope it happens. You know why?
Go to. I can't hurry up.
Why? Because otherwise we're gonna kill ourselves. Putin, this thing with Putin and Biden and NATO. But did you see what happened in Italy? See what's happening in Ity? Oh yeah. Oh wait, I should talk about Italy. you see who's taken over in Italy? This Maloney. What's a Georgia? Is it Georgia Maloney? Who, the right wing now? She's like a female Trump. Has just taken over in Italy as prime minister. So there's a reaction.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
and she's like Orban in Hungary. Like Orban in Hungary, and no, because it's but you know what's going to happen in Germany, right? What's going to happen in Germany this winter? They're going to freeze. They're going to freeze. They won't have enough energy in Germany. I'm going to be in England at this time, but I think England.
So is that still on the site, Jeremy, under .mil? Or
I agree, Walter.
Is that site?
No, man, I screenshot.
That's something.
These are
that's
my
a screenshot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's old. Yeah.
It's in my saved files, and I'm just showing the saved files.
Yeah, see, it even has the port. I see the ports. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Which I think represents that there's something piloting it, or some kind of humans. Most likely, if that's what they're trying to represent here.
I think they're trying to drop some hints too. These might be quantum dots.
No, they're supposed to be. Oh no, they could be like propulsion module.
Yeah, it could be. In my opinion, I think it's a viewing to look out a window. Obviously that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, whatever it does. Yeah, it was just an artist.
What about the blue beam on the triangular craft, making kind of a 45-degree angle? Go up a little bit, Jeremy?
And this, my friends, is proof that there's nothing going on in UFOs, because I've seen 10 or 15 shows cover the fact that this logo came out that included a little flying saucer. I don't get it.
And follow the blue beam.
What are you talking about? What? Oh, that.
Yeah, you see the contrail?
That.
Look, go up to the top, Jeremy, of the logo, and you'll see the blue craft. And look at the arrow on the propulsion where it does its, almost 45-degree angle. It pretty much. That's an interesting thing that we observed as well. And then somebody was saying this jet fighter seemed a little bit out of place, that it almost represents some kind of a military jet fighter from Russia. So that was some interesting.
Yeah, just what I need too is analysis of a United States government patch from a guy who's been faking fake UFO videos for a decade. Like, what qualifies him to do analysis on a patch from the government? It's so stupid. And you see how he's reaching? He's like trying to find something strange in this logo, right? It's just, this is what he does.
Speculation. See the red jet?
Oh yeah, what?
Yeah. Can we identify that? I'm not an aviation expert, but some people are saying that's
no, but he's a patch expert though.
Russian.
Could be. I don't know.
What do you?
Okay, but let me say one thing. By the way, with extraterrestrial
Dart craft looks like the SR-75.
Yeah, but wait a minute, guys. This is very important. I want to say something very important. For warp drive craft, shape doesn't matter, because a warp drive machine is not moving through air. It's controlling gravity, so the air around is at rest with respect to it. The immediate environment of it, it's all kind of moving together. So there's no friction. See, that's why it doesn't emit much heat. A little bit of heat, but not much.
Well, it's leaving everything else in the dust, that's for sure. But it's interesting that no propulsion, any kind of indicator for propulsion around the UFO. There are no arrows or contrails.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm claiming. I've explained exactly that. Why that is. That's what
they're going to change it now, Ron.
Yeah, it could be any shape.
Well, in fact, Ryan Graves talks about what the is it the cube inside the sphere, right? The cube inside the sphere.
Is that balloon photo that they put out?
Yeah. Oh wait. Okay. Is that the Russian one? Yeah, that's the Russian one. Yeah. Yeah, but they all look similar. Even the American thing looks like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. That's Russian for sure.
That's yeah.
So when is Putin going to use those in Ukraine? Is the question. I mean, Putin hasn't even used his Air Force, has he? Has Putin used the Air Force in Ukraine? I don't think so. Not much.
Unofficial.
I think in the early stages they had some jets.
Yeah, but not but
helicopters. But that could have been their
and Ukraine doesn't have it.
equivalent.
Okay, any questions about the technology though, about the physics? Because who cares about the logo of these idiots?
I think it's still interesting that it was up on a military website and then taken down. And I think
because
there's some
somebody
symbolism behind it.
Put it in.
And I wouldn't shrug it off. I just wouldn't shrug it off as this is done by some idiot. I think there's something.
No. I mean,
there's something behind it. So there was a message that was trying to be sent, and it was from the inside, and it wasn't hacked.
All right, so be that as it may, so a bunch of they don't know what they're doing.
I got a couple questions for you, Jack. What are your opinions on Sal Pays and his?
What's that? What? Oh, that's all
Sal?
bullshit.
Yes, it is coming. I didn't want to jump right in,
Forget it.
Kate.
It's crap. Total obvious crap. Every physicist knows. What?
He doesn't got the secret sauce.
No secret sauce there.
It's nothing. What it is, it's a scandal that it got that far. What it means, it's showing just what I'm saying. It's showing the stupidity of the people in the Navy who are doing this kind of research. That they're incompetent. Even the parts
Thank you,
of
MJF.
there is a Schwingel limit.
Thanks for the
What does that have to
update.
do with propulsion? Nothing. If you read his patent, it's all disconnected bullshit. Yeah, vacuum real. So what? Yeah.
Vacuum polarization. We found a paper from 1959 with Alzafon talking about this in a space.
But talking about what? What were they saying?
He's
What
talking about
what's the idea? What's the idea there? Is there a coherent idea? How do you connect this picture to describing how the thing stays hovering in the air? Nobody, it's nothing. It's like it's total idiocy. You know what it's like? Did you ever see the movie Idiocracy? There's a movie Idiocracy about this guy. He sleeps for 100 years. He wakes up and everybody's stupid. Okay. Okay. Well, in fact, that's what we have right now. America is Idiocracy. This whole thing. I can't believe how stupid everybody's getting.
But
I mean, Idiocracy is supposed to be a science fiction movie, not a documentary.
it's got what plants crave, though.
Well, okay. So, okay, now all this stuff. Okay, all this stuff. Okay, let me say something. Bernie Hayes was part of the group that I was part of with Joe Firmage. It was Hal Puthoff, Bernie Hayes, myself, Larry Lemke, Creon Levitt, Saul Paul, other people. We were all part of that group in 1989. And okay, now I actually am doing some work. Let's put it this way. In my latest stuff, the 0-point energy may play a role. Because actually, but you have to amplify its effect. So there may be something to the 0-point energy, but not in the precise mathematical model that Hayes and Puthoff talk about. There is something else that the 0-point energy is there and may play a role, but I don't know yet for sure.
Yeah, the good part.
So, Jake, do you think somebody? I'm just curious. That we've never met, but just a quick question. Do you think anybody's ever cracked the code, or has anybody? Does anybody have the secret sauce? And have we built it? Yes.
No. What do you mean? No, I have the secrets. What do you think I'm talking about?
You got you got a prototype?
No, now you're stupid. If you say you got a prototype, I'm a theoretical physicist. I write equations. Do I have a prototype? Yeah. Do I have $20 billion and 5,000 scientists to work on to get a prototype like the Manhattan Project? Because you have to understand this. You don't understand anything. If you say that, it shows that you have a very primitive mind. You don't understand how science works. First, you have to have an idea. You have to have the correct idea, and then to convert that. That's what theorists do. You have to.
Is there any? Yeah, I get it. We're friends with people that have a lot of money. People that sit on the head of the Smithsonian.
I don't care. They're all stupid. I Elon Musk is smart in certain ways, but when it comes to this,
but he's got money. But he's got the money. So what would it take? You know, they just need a little bit of an example. Anything that should.
No, they're stupid. If they needed what, they expect me to.
Are they just going to take your word for it, or can you show them anything specific that you've done a breakthrough?
Yeah, because if they have any brains at all, if they understand some theoretical physics, that I could show them. Yes, but the point is, okay, look, I just had an experience. We just had a guy. I'm not going to mention his name. Okay, we just had a guy who I was introduced to actually put some money into this thing. He's naive, and it's sort of like Joe Firmage, and he expected miracles in 4 months and 5 months with a couple $100,000. Just doesn't work that way. Okay,
I get it. It'll take hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, you can't.
Okay, the point is this. Let me just say something. Let's take Elon Musk for example, and Jeff Bezos. Okay. Now, of course, it's very smart, and I give them all the credit, doing things, with the entrepreneurs, like, all that stuff. That's great, and I admire them for that. But when it comes, but Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are a couple of kids playing with giant. All the money they're putting into SpaceX and whatever the blue, whatever they call it, all this giant rocket stuff is bullshit. It's stupid.
Well, we've been saying that for years, that they're using 100-year-old technology. There's something out there that we have a better meta propulsion.
Yeah, we see these things flying around. So I'm claiming I understand how it works. They're still conceptual. That's when I say understand it, I have a general understanding based on Einstein's general relativity theory and quantum mechanics, which I know about, okay? And so I understand in principle how all these things work. Now, how to get the technology, that's a whole other thing that involves that I'm not equipped to do. Yeah, all that stuff. Okay? So the point is this. Now, I can't show them. If I could show them something, who would need them? But what I'm saying is, they're two separate things. Elon Musk and all these guys, they're missing the boat, Apple, because they could be having conscious.
I didn't know that. That's
conscious
funny.
way we are, in which also when we die, like the movie Transcendence, you can upload conscious experiences in your dying body, put it into the cloud, then you could download them into either a clone of yourself or some kind of robot, like Avatar, like that what was that movie, Avatar? All that is possible now. So we're talking about virtual immortality. So these guys just got to get off their ass and try to learn some, what I'm trying to tell them. Otherwise, I don't care. What do I care?
True. It's I'm just there's nothing. I'm not trying to go either way. I'm just trying to have a conversation because that's what our physicist friends that on who you call stupid on the other side, and all these people that have had their careers and worked hard, but they have that mentality where they want a prototype or they want some kind of design.
They want a prototype. As soon as they say they want a prototype, goodbye.
Or some kind of equation or a plan.
Well, I have the equation. I have. Oh, you want to know what the prototype is? Yeah, I have a prototype. It's called the Tic Tac. It's called the Tic Tac.
But what is it? Well, the Tic Tac those videos don't really prove anything. The Tic Tac doesn't show any kind of thing that defies or seemingly defies the laws of physics.
I'm assuming now that everything that Louis Elizondo says about the classified videos, I'm assuming that everything Ryan Graves reports and everything that Commander Fravor and that woman, all these Navy pilots, I'm assuming that they know what they say is true. Okay. And if what they say is true, there's only one way to explain all that.
Well, there you go. We're taking people's word for it, and that's one thing, but the videos don't prove anything.
I don't care about those videos. All I know is what.
Okay, so we're going on people's testimony.
Okay, you want me to tell you what I know? Okay. What I know is from a guy in the Italian Navy, okay, who was actually examining one of those flying saucers, like Roswell type flying saucers that Corso talks about, that Richard Dolan talks about, Okay, so independent corroboration that those machines are real. I know that, and I believe that as much as I believe data from CERN. Okay, I know that, and I'm also saying, assuming that everything Commander Fravor and Ryan Graves says is true, there's only one way to explain it, and it's a very elementary
Good stuff.
application, a slight extension of Einstein's 1916 general theory of relativity of the gravitational field, plus some quantum mechanical things. That's where the metamaterials, what the metamaterials do, basically, what they must do, I don't know exactly how to do it, but what they must do, the metamaterials, when they are sufficiently pumped in a resonant way, to create a giant resonance, a macro quantum coherent resonance in the metamaterial, they amplify the strength of the coupling of the applied electromagnetic field to the induced gravitational field. That's what they do. So they're able to generate a relatively strong gravitational field with a very small amount of energy. And there's also there's a phase relationship. By changing the relative phase between the applied electromagnetic field and the output gravitational field, you can switch from attractive field to a repulsive field. The repulsive field is going to create a blue shift. The attractive field creates a red shift. So all this stuff like what happened at the Skinwalker Ranch, they have that UFO floating ahead. If you let's put it this way: if you stand under a hovering UFO, you're going to get radiation sickness. Because the anti-gravity creates a blue shift in all of the air molecules below it. Okay, so you're going to create ionizing radiation, and you'll have symptoms of radiation sickness, which is exactly what happened at the Skinwalker Ranch. I think even Travis Taylor said he got sick. Okay,
that Skinwalker Ranch, you could give that a grain of salt. There's really, again, not really.
Okay.
Proof.
So who am I talking to? Who is this guy?
Who is
it?
It's Blake Cousins. We're trying to find out exactly
who is Blake Cousins? What's your back? Are you a physicist?
But we have friends. We have a lot of friends in this field.
Channel, a couple 100,000 subscribers.
All right, I just want to know who you are. You know who I am. Who am I talking?
I'll introduce myself. Yeah, my name is Blake Cousins. We run a YouTube channel with 800,000 subscribers.
Faking UFO
We've had the
videos.
biggest documentaries in the past 2 years on Amazon Prime in regards
to
what?
Documentaries about what? About what?
Disclosure. We're talking to Michael Stratt, Jim Goodall, Greer. We're talking to Congress.
Greer's an ass. Greer's an idiot. Greer's a crook. Greer's a crook. So you talk to a bunch of schmucks who don't know anything.
We're talking to Congressman
Tim
Burchett. We're talking to.
I don't care. I don't know
Michael Stratt. We're talking to Avi Loeb. We're talking to Avi Loeb, the Galileo Project. We're talking to Michael Stratt. I don't know. You really have, for some reason, I just came in here invited. I didn't know. It's interesting your how you throw around people that are stupid. And
because they are. Because they are. I can't. I'm sorry, but I don't have patience. Yes, I understand how to
Thank you,
how
Lord
to piss
Lord
off.
Chris.
Yeah,
me too.
It's okay. I could say it's no big deal. But
the point is,
I don't mind it. It's a healthy discussion here. We're having a good discussion. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Blake. The point is just: have you ever taken a physics course?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Have you ever had? What mathematics do you know?
I got up to algebra 2. That's about it.
All right. So let me
high school trig geometry.
Okay. Now listen to me. Okay. Listen to me. This whole disclosure, everything that's happening with UFOs, it's all a physics mathematical problem. Okay. And if you don't know the language, you'll never understand what's going on. You're gonna have to just take my word for the word.
Thank you, Voltaire.
We try to water it down, but
it's just interesting. As a physicist, you're throwing out facts with Skinwalker Ranch, and I find that interesting.
Well, I happen to know.
You're saying because we've been in close proximity to UFOs here in Hawaii, right above our head, and we never got any kind of radiation sickness when it was only 100 feet above our heads.
Okay, so wait a second. Wait, stop.
Okay, I stopped.
But let's go back over this in detail. Tell me now what you claim happened.
Yeah, let's 2010 on our birthday, we're invited to this farm out in the middle of nowhere because these
Yeah.
people are experiencing something strange. They know we had camera equipment, so they invited us over. We went down there, and this triangular shaped craft the size of a football field, black, came right on top of us. We experienced it for 4 minutes with multiple eyewitnesses, and it could have thrown a rock at it. It had escorts on the side of the tips of the craft that some people say they see these energy plasma balls around the tips. Could be part of the meta propulsion. But again, no after effects. But again,
wait a minute. No, you have to stand. Okay, now wait a minute. First of all, did you have any photographic evidence of this?
Yeah, we it's 2010. We filmed it. You're only going to see 3 white dots. It was hard to film at night, but
was it night?
It was at night. Yes.
It was at night.
Under a full moon, and we could see it clearly. Multiple eyewitnesses. I'm not going to say, hey, look, believe me. I'm just saying there's people that have close proximity to these things that don't receive radiation poisoning. And when Professor Dolan starts talking in a language that people that get close proximity or touch it receive these kind of horrific injuries and spreading this.
Wait a minute.
There's a problem there.
Not necessarily, not because it doesn't mean that it's always that they switch it on all the time. But this thing you said it was floating, it was hovering, and you were under it for 4 minutes.
It lasted for approximately 4 to 5 minutes as it came down right over our heads and slowly drifted approximately 100 feet into the direction of Waipio Valley on the coast.
It may not have been, it may have been how do you know it wasn't like a dirigible? A lighter than aircraft. You don't know if it was in warp drive.
Yeah, I don't know the propulsion that it was using. If it was a warp drive,
Professor,
it would have done these effects. And
why do we need warp? Why do we call it? Where does warp drive come in?
I have a question for Jack.
You don't know anything, but you ask a question like it shows you don't know anything. You don't know. You know nothing.
Why are we bringing up warp drive?
Because that's the only way to explain the Tic Tac. Okay, did you get that slide?
But the problem is with the Tic Tac, there's no evidence that we have that it even did performing what it said it did.
Okay, let's put this way.
And
if you
let's just say if it did, then I'm thinking that it's man-made. Somebody cracked the code.
You know what? You're a schmuck. You're a nice guy. But
So what do you think it is? ET, or do you think it's man-made? I'm just curious.
What?
I'm thinking they're man-made, developed.
I don't care what you think, because it doesn't matter what you think, because you don't know anything.
I'm just asking you, do you think it's ET or man-made? I'm just asking you a simple question.
It depends what I mean by man. I think they're coming.
Is the Tic Tac manufactured by man, or is it ET in nature?
Well, wait a minute. You see, you don't even have to.
Can you answer the question?
No, because your question is stupid. You haven't phrased it properly.
It's not a stupid question. It's a simple question.
No, it isn't stupid. Let me explain why.
Do you think it's man-made, or do you think it's foreign, otherworldly?
If you just shut up and let me explain something to you, okay? Depends what you mean by man-made. Man-made when? When man-made?
So you think future brought back? This gets into my next question, Blake, and please let me get this out before you cut me off, because this is I wanted to.
By the way, we had a question from Bry asking, Comp, what does that green star after your name mean? I've seen others sporting them too. If you become a channel member, you get that special star to identify you as a channel supporter. So you can click the join button and you get a bunch of extra goodies, including all the Patreon benefits. Our Patreon is $1 a month and the channel membership is $5 a month. But if you get the channel membership, you get all the Patreon benefits and those extra YouTube goodies, like a green star after your name, which lets others know that you are a supporter of the channel. Just wanted to make sure that's clear.
Ask him about, because they had posted this online. I saw Jack, you had commented on this, and
I know I had to go through this because it's so funny.
Interview, and I'm going to play this clip real quick for everybody in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
This is about everyone at Los Alamos. He claims that all the physicists at Los Alamos were looking at this UFO stuff back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And that they had all concluded that this was interdimensional. I'm going to play this clip.
Yeah, no, I think it's wrong. Yeah, I know. I heard that. I heard him talk. Yeah, listen, I believe their observations. Yeah, I think they saw what they saw. But his theory,
late 80s at the latest. These
whatever it was.
these are not
Is this live? Is he live? Is he there? No.
in the sense of
No,
in the
he's
sense
not
of
live.
them-
I'm just playing this clip that he said this. They're interdimensional right here at about 17.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah, he saw
promise.
at the higher. I don't believe they're interdimensional. I don't. You don't need that. That's too complicated. It's a lot simpler than that. All you need is 4 dimensions of space. 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time. All you need is traditional theory, and everything is explained by controlling the curvature field in 3 space dimensions,
Yeah.
1 time dimension. Controlling with small amounts of energy, you explain everything. And that, it's very simple. You don't need any hyperdimensional. You don't need string theory, any of this bullshit stuff that they throw out. It's actually very elementary physics. But unless you've learned physics at a certain level,
I'll try to get him. I promise.
you just have to take my word for it. Because there's no way. I mean, this guy, whatever his name is, Blake Cousins. He's a video guy. He doesn't know anything. And I don't doubt he saw this thing, but it doesn't disprove anything I'm saying. And when he says Skinwalker Ranch didn't happen, but that's stupid.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying their evidence isn't very compelling, and you're saying that it's fact. Like when the UFO was over Skinwalker Ranch. Their evidence isn't compelling.
Okay, let's put it this way. Eric Davis and Jacques Vallée are right now guys I'm fighting with, okay?
I don't agree with. What about Jack Vallée?
Did you ask him about
the CIA documents that he has in regards to the fake alien invasions that they were doing in South America?
I don't know what you're running. You're not. Your mind is scattered. You don't have a focused mind. I'm trying to say something here, and you're not hearing me. And you're going off.
I'm just. Hey, if you have a problem with Jack Vallée, I also do too. So I think we're on the same page on a few things.
No. Wait a minute. You didn't let me finish the damn sentence. You don't know what I'm going to say about Jacques Vallée. Okay. Jacques Vallée. First of all, Jacques Vallée is a bit of an asshole because I helped Jacques Vallée. I got Jacques Vallée connected with the movie industry. I got him into Close Encounters of the Third Kind, to my connection. Okay, and then he fucked me over. I mean, he didn't. He's been blocking my efforts, Jacques Vallée, okay? And Eric Davis, the same thing. However, I agree with Eric Davis and Jacques Vallée when it comes to what they say about the Skinwalker Ranch, about that paper they wrote, High Strangers. You see, just because I have my own political ego, whatever you want to call it, conflicts with them on a personal level, doesn't mean that I reject what they say about certain things where they know what they're talking about. Okay. So that's the point. Even though I'm at war with Jacques Vallée and Eric Davis to a certain extent, I still support certain things they say because I'm a scientist and that seems to me to be objectively true. So I separate my emotional, political, whatever, feelings from my sense of honesty, intellectual honesty when it comes to science. So I separate the two things. Now, most of these people can't. See, Chris Mellon can't make that separation. John Alexander can't. John Alexander, now Colonel Alexander, was supposedly head of a theoretical physics division, of the Pentagon, all the bullshit. Okay, because I support Donald Trump, he says my physics must be wrong. See, that's stupid. That's a stupid, senile old fart. Okay.
Oh my God, that is silly. Hey, let me ask you this question. Real quick, I interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson 2 days ago.
He's an
I knew you were going to say that, and I'm not going to back up what he stated, but I just had a feeling you're going to say what you just said. Oh my goodness.
He's a pompous schmuck.
Hey, let me tell you.
Wait. So Jack. So do you see the headline in the communist movement? Jack Sarfati is a racist. He called Tyson a schmuck. Not because
he's so wild. Oh no.
Not because he's black, but because
a little wokeness. Too much woke going on. Right?
I've heard that.
I believe in Martin Luther King, content of character, not color of skin. So no, okay.
But it was interesting what Neil said. And again, I'm not an advocate about what he said, but he indicated and it was kind of interesting coming from, Neil deGrasse, that he thought that it's not out of the possibility that not NASA, but Navy digitally put those into the videos, the Tic Tac, the gimbal, and inserted them in digitally just to test.
You know what? Then David, then he's insulting the integrity of U.S. Navy pilots. Now let me tell you, I lived on aircraft carriers. I lived on aircraft carriers for several months at a time in the Indian Ocean with these guys. Not Commander Freight, but this is back in 1987. I've been on aircraft carriers with these Navy pilots, and they're straight. These are great guys. These are heroes, and they're not lying about what they saw. And for Neil Grice, whatever the hell his name is, he should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, well, how do they insert the image into the people's eyeballs? How do they insert it into the pilot's eyes? So obviously we're going on the testimony from the pilots. And I agree. Hey, these guys, we have a collection of tens of thousands of UFO videos from around the world, the phenomenon. We're the largest archive of the phenomenon. And we're on top of the phenomenon.
Okay.
So
the question is why is people like Tyson, why are they being so skeptical about it? See, what's really going on there?
Absolutely.
Jack, I asked head of special projects T.D. Barnes out of Area 51, special project manager. I asked T.D. Barnes what he thought of the Tic Tac and all this, and he thought it was spoofing technology.
Well, okay, but then he should, it's possible.
PsyOps. That's like, I was like, oh,
then he should explain how. Hey, by the way, who's this woman? That woman looks familiar. Who is this woman here? Do you know who that woman is? This woman. There, who is that? Do you know who she is?
She's got a great smile.
Yeah, no, okay, no, I thought I knew her for a minute. I thought I met her, but it's not.
Monica Barnes. She came up under search for T.D. Barnes. So,
she was a witness.
No,
she was a witness, a UFO contactee or something. Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay. But
I'm trying to find out who she is now.
Yeah. If it's spoofing, let's get back to the spoofing technology thing. First, he'd have to demonstrate what he means by that exactly. And you know what? Even if it was spoofing technology, it doesn't matter, because what I'm talking about is from Einstein. And even if those things aren't real, what I'm talking about, I think, is real. But, okay. I mean, but as somebody else said, there's so many thousands of reports throughout, centuries, that there's no question to me that it's real.
Yeah, I think something happened, and I believe that whatever's going on, it's created by man, whether you call it future time travelers visiting us now. I'm not opposed to that.
Created by Lockheed. It hasn't been
created of that.
Yeah, it hasn't been created by Lockheed or Boeing, in the past. They may make it in the future, sure.
There you go. Exactly. They're the ones in the proper place to get these designed, and it is a national security issue.
Yeah.
There's some people in the chat, like there's this guy named Solar Marshall. Anyway, he could keep talking, but man, this guy's really throwing down some, just pathetic statements. And it's just pathetic.
Okay, is anybody asking before we end, is anybody asking any intelligent questions about it?
Yeah, and for those unaware, Solar Marshall was in the live chat calling Third Phase fake and frauds and all this stuff, and Third Phase was getting pissy about it. Good for Solar Marshall. Somebody should go anywhere Third Phase appears. Someone, and by the way, I'm not suggesting anybody, be rude or disrespectful, but somebody should go anywhere that Blake Cousins appears and ask him about the Billy Gibbons, Stephen Greer secret mission. Where Stephen Greer went on a secret mission with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, according to his own documentary, and he didn't fact check that. And he also didn't fact check Stephen Greer saying that an entire company, engineering company, was murdered in Michigan. I checked with the state police. I checked with FBI offices. I checked statewide archives of newspapers looking for an entire company getting murdered. And wouldn't you know, that never happened. And Blake Cousins, the dummy, sat there like a dummy and let Stephen Greer lie through his teeth in his so-called documentary. It wasn't a documentary. It was a fluff piece with one purpose: to make money. And if money is all you care about, money is what you shall have. But the problem is that Blake Cousins and his brother somehow want to still be, you hear him bragging, we have the largest archive of UFOs on the internet. Yeah, you have the largest archive of faked UFO videos on YouTube. Congratulations. You have the largest archive that's just chock full of fake garbage that you post. I could have the largest archive of anything if I was willing to just post any garbage. Great. Great. Oh, let's finish up this, friends. There's only a few minutes left, 14 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I got pretty much most of the ones I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you about the interdimensional thing with Shannon. That was something that came up.
So let's go over that again. What I'm saying, I believe he's a very nice man. He's an honest man, and I actually admire him. And I admire his Navy service and all that. I listen to him.
It looks like he could be your twin brother.
Yeah, right. And the thing is though. I'd like to see some papers by that friend.
Yeah, he's been on the show here as well, Space Exposure.
Yeah. I'd like to see the papers, and I understand that I understand the model is plausible. The flatland analogy but it's not needed. It's a plot.
The whole idea, the information theory on the surface of that black hole is that at the surface of the black hole, it's all reduced to two dimensions. That flatland theory. So it's this kind of idea that we don't necessarily. I don't know why he mixes this need for extra dimensions above 3 when he's going down to 2 dimensions. But
no, he was saying that there's a fifth. I understand what he meant there. And if you read Flatland. I understand the idea. The idea is not stupid, but I don't think it's. The idea, the model is sort of like Copernican. Yeah, it might explain certain things qualitatively. I understand where it's coming from. It's not a stupid idea. What I'm saying is it's an unnecessary idea. It's too complicated. I can do the same thing with less. I can do what he needs 5 dimensions. I could do it in 4. The same thing. So you take the simplest theory. I'm not saying it's theory stupid. It's not stupid, but we don't need what?
You don't need that. Yeah, you don't need the 5 dimensions.
I don't need I could accomplish. I could explain the same weird stuff that he does explain. 5. I could do it with less. So the idea is when you have 2 theories explaining the same thing, you always want to choose the one with the fewest assumptions, the simplest
one.
Right? That's just a way
of
thinking.
Hey, Jack. Here's maybe a little off subject, but it still pertains to technology. We released these files about a year, 2 years ago, and it came out of Los Alamos, and we put that out on our channel. I think for the first time, where the public was able to see schematics in this. Again, a prototype, not an actual prototype, but a design and how they were going to create a theory of this thing called the subterrane. Have you ever seen those documents in regards to this thing?
Is this Paez? Is this the Navy guy Paez?
No, it was Los Alamos, and they called it the subterrane. And what it was a nuclear-tipped submarine, but it went through terra firma. It didn't go through the water. What they wanted to do is create a tunnel system which would secrete the material through the walls. And
you mean through the heat?
And it was a nuclear tipped thing.
Oh yeah, well I'm sure that could work. Yeah, there's nothing surprising about that, but it has
busy working.
Sure, why not? I mean, did they do it?
Yeah, they said they stopped it, but I believe they kept doing it, and that's what connected all these underground bases.
Yeah, but that's standard. That's standard. Physics. There's nothing. It's the technology is it's certainly interesting. But
so rumor has it is that when they implemented this machine, which they said they never built, they were testing areas where they're actually boring through the earth, creating these tunnels that would intersect with other bases. But they were testing the cows during that region during that time, for radiation poisoning. And this
Oh,
is where
maybe
this is where the theory came up that somebody came in and said, hey, look, let's blame it on the aliens. Let's call it cattle mutilation. But in reality, they were testing under where these tunnels were being bored by the subterranean. I could send you those Los Alamos documents.
I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested right now in what I'm doing. I'm only interested in two things: the conscious artificial intelligence building.
I agree, Amy
artificial
Collins.
machines that'll be as conscious as we are.
Yeah, hurry up and get that done. I want to live forever in a digital platform. That'd be great if we have to.
I can only do what I do, and I'm also interested in. I'm having a fight now with these former colleagues, Nick Herbert and Keith Wanzer, and Brian Josephson, about the basics of special relativity theory, which they don't seem to understand of what I'm trying to say. So whatever.
Completely different problem, Blake. If you're looking, just because he's a scientist doesn't mean he has expertise and all these other things. You should. I think I recommend doing with that is talking to some of the tunnel boring machine or contractors. Elon Musk has a tunnel boring company, and talk to some of the contractors about these ideas and these technologies. And
you're talking to Blake. You're not talking to me. You're talking to Blake, right?
Yeah, to Blake about this particular question about that.
True. Good advice. Yeah, that's interesting. Now,
they
are working on that super highway underground. What is that, Morton? But the public wouldn't allow a nuclear tip submarine to bore under their neighborhoods. They wouldn't pass that. That would have to be clandestine.
You know who would do it though? Who would do
Russia?
Yes, in Siberia, and the Chinese. They'd have no compunction doing it, right?
There you go. Maybe that's where we'll. But this is Los Alamos.
Don't send me anything, Blake.
You're a schmuck. You know how many Chinese spies are in Los Alamos?
Did you read the story about that recently? It was
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I read that too. So let me bring that article up. Yeah, because Los Alamos, the espionage.
Just reading the other day.
No idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. And by you know who was onto that stuff back in the '90s was Ronald Pandolfi. Was you know who led all the Chinese spies in, don't you? Our lovely Bill Clinton, and and Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi and all these Adam Schiff and guys, they let the Chinese in. Well, even George Bush, and I guess it goes back to Nixon and Kissinger. Just we created a Frankenstein monster there.
Yeah, I remember the video when they raided the Chinese embassy. There was just massive piles of paper being burned. Like they were shredding, and they couldn't shred the documents fast enough.
Okay, hey, listen. So, are you going to put this on YouTube? Is this going to be on YouTube for people to watch, or what? Or is it just live? What is it?
We're live now. It's on YouTube and it's replayable and stuff. I can go back and edit stuff out and make a short clip. I mean, some people.
No, okay. Listen, I'm unless there's some really interesting physics related questions, I'm gonna.
No, thank you so much for your time, Jack. You answered most of the physics, and some of the stuff you went above my head and my reading. Yeah. Like I said, this stuff. These intelligence agencies is they need to go to school and to get a degree in physics.
No, what they have to do, they have to have Jack Sarfati listen to Jack Sarfati's lectures on UFO physics and conscious artificial intelligence. Do it by Zoom meetings. I'll be in London. I'll be in London and Rome, Italy, eating my pasta.
It's really like a curriculum. They'd have to go to school for a year.
It sure is.
A couple of hours of Zoom, we could do. They learn something. I mean,
at least 6 months.
Experts, but they understand some basic ideas which they don't understand, and so they don't even have.
What about supercavitation? Is this
bullshit?
Something that's a fake. Those are fake words.
Bullshit. Submarines, but not for a UFO. Not for what I'm talking about. No supercavitation.
Okay,
you're right, Amy.
Yeah, if you want to go to the dentist's office, they have some nice supercavitation drills for your teeth. Yeah, that's good for that.
What about the transmedium? They have transmedium.
Yeah, well, okay. The transmedium is something which I'm not rejecting it. That's the
The pilot said they saw it come out of the water. So
yeah, the water's different. The water I know. The water I know. I know a lot about the water stuff. The water's very real. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have good intelligence that there's an underground UFO USO base at the Calypso Deep in the Mediterranean Sea between Sicily and Greece. Yeah, that stuff is well, that's just a regular missile. But I'm talking about a UFO. I'm talking about what I'm talking about, and that there's some kind of alien or time travel from the future base 17,000 feet under the ocean. I mean, under the Mediterranean Sea. But look up the Calypso Deep. Look up where the Calypso Deep is. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's all very real. Because I have a friend in the Italian Navy who's in charge of those investigations for the Italian Navy who tells me they're real. Okay?
What's it called? Clips of the Deep? How do I find this?
Calypso Deep, Mediterranean. Just check it out. Calypso Deep. Calypso Deep, Mediterranean Ocean. Calypso, like in Calypso. Spell it, Calypso. The Calypso Deep.
DeGrasse Tyson said also the government's not capable of keeping secrets if they had this technology.
Well, I agree with Tyson on that. Absolutely true. Yes. But of course, we have all kinds of people like Richard Dolan saying, they have sources.
You take Doty's word for it?
Absolutely. No, wait a minute. Now, you didn't hear. I take Doty's word for it. You know why? Because I have a friend in the Italian Navy who doesn't know Doty, never spoke to Doty, and has told me the same thing because he actually was in charge of examining one of those machines at a NATO base.
Doty or Corso? What are you talking about now? Corso?
No, Doty right now.
Doty, yeah, okay.
Okay, Doty describes the same thing Corso described. Okay, but what I'm saying is that
could have Doty heard it from Corso?
Maybe he did, but my Italian guy didn't. My Italian guy was in charge of an investigation, was actually, in the fucking machine, okay, for 3 or 4 days trying to figure it out.
Could have Doty known the Italian guy?
No, they don't know each other. I checked all. That's my point.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
I'm like a detective. I'm like up right now.
Yeah,
right?
But when you throw Doty around, some people have issues with Doty. I'm just saying.
I know. But you know what? I don't know why Doty has such bad PR. I mean, people have issues with Jack Sarfati too. But watching Doty this last time, that thing he did about it's a MedStar project, that video about MedStar. And then because Doty says everything that my Italian Navy guy told me quite independently, Doty says he knows of 3. They call them the Cardinal 1, Cardinal 2, Cardinal 3. Well, I know about Cardinal 4. They don't call it Cardinal 4, but I know about a 4th. It's nothing to do with Doty or Corso. It's in Europe, okay? I know about that. From a guy who's been there, who I trust, high-level Italian officer. Okay? So that's how I know.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna end the stream right there, and thank you so much, and we'll for joining us and sharing your knowledge and stories with us, Jack.
Yeah. So send me the link when it's up there. Now I gotta almost assume talking too much.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's interesting. Hey, thanks, Jeremy, for having me on, and Jack is interesting talk we had, and again, I think we're on the same page on a lot of stuff.
No, you're not. Tell me about
everything. And when, I'm not a physicist, so what are you going to do? All right. So I get that, but appreciate it. Good talk, and you guys have a good one.
All right.
We'll let you guys close it out. Bye, Jack. Bye, Jeremy.
Bye.
So there is Jack Sarfati calling Blake Cousins an idiot and a schmuck and stupid many times. Sorry, had to share that tonight. Complicated with a kind and generous $9.99. I think that's euro. Says thanks, Stephen, for recap and enjoying it a second time together with the whole Truth Seekers gang tonight. I wish I would have known it was happening, because I would have jumped on and said, Jack, don't even talk to this guy. He's a hoaxer and he's stupid. And he believes that Stephen Greer went on a secret mission with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top fame. Oh, but thank you for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. And our thanks to all of our kind and generous benefactors who enable us to continue this great work. If you are tired of seeing UFO gold digging whores, and if you are tired of seeing disinformation agents peddling garbage into the UFO community and around the world even, we tend to do something about that. And if you're tired of all these frauds, fakers, grifters, liars, and hoaxers like Third Phase of Moon, like Project Unity, like Richard Dolan, we hold their feet to the fire. We actually ask the hard questions. We can see evidence of this because I asked Richard Dolan a hard question earlier today. I asked him if the child rapist at KGRA that he works with was his producer as well, or just his program director for his show. And that got me blocked. But I'm okay with that because there's nothing that Richard Dolan tweets. By the way, all Richard Dolan tweets is buy my shit or watch my monetized YouTube show again, as he plays replays constantly. And, you know, there should be something about that. Why should Richard Dolan keep being able to make money replaying live streams from 2 years ago? Can you do that? Can I do that? Maybe we'll do that. We'll just start replaying the entire Truthseekers catalog from beginning to end, and I'll just tweet it out every day, right? I don't understand this. I don't understand this Project Unity guy from England coming over here, getting so involved with American ufology. Stay in England, bro. Have some tea and crumpets, right? Some fish and chips, and cover English UFOs. Don't come over here and pump your disinformation. Now you're on my radar. That's bad for any of the UFO grifters like you to be on my radar, because now I might start listening to your crappy show. I don't really want to because you're dumb as rocks, but I may start listening, and then we're going to ask more questions, and you're going to have to answer for helping Ross Coulthart push this garbage. You're going to have to answer for pushing the fake Wilson documents. You're going to have to answer for pushing fake pictures taken inside a model, you dummy. I love it. You were going to push pictures that somebody took inside a plastic model as real pictures of the interior of an alien spacecraft. Great. And now you are apparently blocking Grant Cameron from releasing information that you don't even own, right? It's great. And I apologize. We want to thank Sweet Caroline as well for a kind and generous $9.99 or $9 PayPal pledge. By the way, if you want to throw money at us and support us, there's a few ways to do it. You can use the super chat button. You can also send us money on PayPal. A lot of people choose to do that because PayPal's percentage is nowhere near YouTube's 30%. But we take it any way you want to throw it in our hat. And also Cash App, instructions in the description of the video, and also instructions on how to become a Patreon supporter or a channel member. And we love and appreciate all of you kind and generous supporters. I also want to thank Tina. I forgot to bring it in here today, and I don't want to pause the show to go show you, so I'll show it tomorrow night. But a kind and generous show supporter sent me a dino beaver and a gray alien that they handmade for me, and they're beautiful. And I thank you so much. I love getting especially something handmade like that. Somebody took an awful lot of time to make me a gray alien and a dino beaver. I've been joking I need some dino beavers in my life. Somebody, a kind and generous listener, sent me a dino beaver and a gray alien. I have them on my desk in my office. I will share them and show them tomorrow. So any more comments or questions from me, please put them in all capital letters, and we will take, I have a little bit more time to share with you. We'll take some questions from the live audience. And to see the Actually brothers still pushing the S4 pin, yeah, was really something last night. Yeah, he wants to take credit because he found a pin in a Google Maps, right? It's so stupid. That's the whole story was so stupid, Kate Schneider. And also, the person who actually claimed to have found the pin was that guy UFO Proof, who faked terminal cancer, and then his whole community got together and did a cancer benefit for him. And not only did he steal all that money, but he stole gift certificates from his own cancer benefit. Somebody left gift certificates out on a table at his cancer benefit, and he stole them, and they caught him trying to sell those gift certificates to someone else. Isn't that great? That's their source. Their source is a guy who would fake terminal cancer. And Rich from Goofon defended this guy as well, because that's Rich's job, to defend Third Phase of Moon when they step in it and get caught pushing ridiculous garbage, fake disinformation, fraud garbage. That's Rich's job, right? Somebody sent me a clip and that guy's talking smack again and whatever. He can say whatever he's going to say. I really don't care. Sometimes guys get put in your rear view, right? He's in my rear view and I'm not looking back. But I will speak freely about how Goofon supports this idiot, Blake Cousin. Great career move, Rich. Tie your horse to that falling apart wagon. Good job, Rich. Now, every time you call people fake, every time you say somebody's a fraud, they're instantly going to think to themselves, but you work for the biggest frauds in this thing, the biggest garbage peddling disinformation agents in the world of UFOs are Third Phase of Moon, the Cousins brothers. And Rich from Goofon works for those idiots because he's not strong enough to build a channel by himself. He didn't build his channel. Most, or half at least, I would think it would be fair to say that half of Rich's subscribers were sucked off of Third Phase stupid people. That's why Rich can be caught doing all of this dirty shit, like calling other show hosts pedos or making fun of fat people. Now he's, this one I don't mind. I heard he's making fun of UFO Joe, saying that he waxes his lips and he's a tranny or something. But the reason why Rich can do all these stupid things, like fat shame people, like, talk about some girl's breasts who he doesn't even know, right? Make sexist comments towards a female show host, make transphobic comments, make, he got thrown off of Twitter for making fun of trans people, right? Unsolicited. He just went to trans people's Twitters and like, oh, I'm not into fake women or whatever. And he got thrown off of Twitter. But the reason that Rich can keep going and people will still send him super chats like a dummy, like stupid people must be sending him money, is because he inherited half of his subscribers, I'd say maybe more, came from the stupid Third Phase followers who are so dumb they believe that Third Phase does good, credible work, right? That's why it works for him. And we want to thank Anthony Peterson for a kind and generous $2 super chat. Says, thanks for the Sarfati Physics Show. My pleasure. And so many people asked me that, yes, I have Jack Sarfati's email, but I've never emailed him. And while I'm a little bit nervous to interview him because I don't want him calling me stupid, but when it comes to physics, yeah, I'm a computer science guy, and I'm sure I could teach Jack Sarfati a thing or two about computer science. Hopefully he'll be willing to just, dumb it down a little bit and try to teach me something about theoretical physics, which I have an interest in. By the way, I have a bookshelf that takes up a whole wall. My whole basement is a big bookshelf. And I have a whole bunch of physics books that I bought but never read, most of them. And I mean to, and I would really like to understand more about physics. And I try to learn from everybody that I know is intelligent on the subject. Like I've tried to learn from Jeremy Rise, the alien scientist. He's a physicist, but Jeremy starts talking about proton spins and cavitation and I don't know, all this advanced stuff, and I get lost in there. And Jack's even more advanced than Jeremy, so I'm a little nervous about interviewing a guy that's smart, but hopefully he will just recognize that I'm a computer science guy, not a physics guy, and if I ask a stupid question, he'll forgive me and not call me a stupid schmuck like he did with Third Phase. But I think Third Phase deserved it. I love that. Who the hell are you, right? Yeah, and that is absolutely true. We proved it. We proved it, Kate Schneider. Anybody can put in and just call it a government office and the pin goes up. So I believe that it's my opinion that UFO proof who's a fraudster. After all, he committed fraud pretending that he had cancer so that he could steal money from people. He's a fraudster. I believe that he may have put that pin in there because a year before Third Phase ran with the story, he reported that on Reddit, that he found that. And even back then, people said anybody can put a pin in, and he argued with them. And then he deleted a whole lot of Reddit posts concerning that once he started pushing the fake story with Third Phase, right? Yeah, then they used that to push their documentary, which was also garbage. They're garbage peddlers. That's what Blake and Brent Cousins are. They're garbage peddlers. And that's what Rich is. Rich is a garbage enabler because Blake and Brent Cousins push garbage, fake information, disinformation. They hoax things. They fake things constantly. We caught them in, let's see, March faking something. Or I'm sorry, February faking something. April, March, February, March, April, and May. We showed that they fake things in all those months last year, February, March, April, May. And I haven't looked in on them, but I'm sure they're still faking things. That's what they do. They push fake videos where they know it's not a UFO, but they pretend it is. And then they do the cop-out, Cosmic Con shuffle. Well, we're just putting the video up, and then we're letting people tell us what it is. Is this a UFO? Is this an alien spacecraft? Is it a drone? Is it a Chinese lantern? Do you think this is a balloon? It's irresponsible. It's a cop-out what they do. Their entire channel was built on deception and disinformation and lies. Their entire channel was built on that. And then you got those fake talking points that Rich likes to repeat like a parrot that he is, the dummy, and say, oh, they used to fake things, but they haven't faked anything in the last 5 years. Well, even admitting that they used to fake things should preclude them from being involved in this. Once you get caught faking something, that's it. And let's say once you get caught faking something 10 times, how many times has Third Phase? We caught him in February, March, April, May. That's 4 times we caught them. And by the way, we caught them 100, well, with the help of Astral Citizens, of course, 100%. They fake things in February of 2022. They fake things in March of 2022. They fake things in April of 2022. And they fake something in May of 2022. That's 4 times recently. But Rich, the dummy, is going to tell you that they haven't faked anything in 5 years. Rich is going to lie through his fake teeth because that's part of his job, lying through his fake teeth and being their attack dog. I suppose Rich will now, suddenly start suggesting I have pedo friends or call me, that I may be a pedo or something again. Or maybe he'll make another video making fun of my making fun of my paralyzed eye. Oh, that's another thing. Rich gets away with making fun of disabled people on YouTube. He should lose his whole channel for that, right? Then what's he going to do? Be a little bit hard begging for UFO dollars, just standing on a street corner. Psst, you want to hear any stories about UFOs? Do you want to hear my shit, lazy, garbage commentary? And by the way, let's be clear. Rich is not an investigator. He's not a journalist. He's a garbage peddling commentator. That's all he does is take other people's crap and talk about it. There's never been a single story that Rich broke, unless you count this S4 pin. All he does is pull in the Third Phase garbage and talk about it, or pull in other people's work and talk about it. He doesn't have any of his own work to share. Never. It's great. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. Blaming me for his channel. What is he blaming me? You have to expand on that, Kate, because I didn't really, I'm not going to give him, I refuse to give that prick a single view. So even when people tell me he says something about me and give me a timestamp, I don't go and listen. I ask people, what did he say? And I get a general gist. And that guy can say whatever he wants. I'm not some loser living in my parents' backyard in a freaking trailer, okay? I have a successful business outside of this, you dummy. I don't need the money. So I don't have to sell my soul to third phase like you do, Rich, you loser. World in Chaos 76 says, same here, Steven, not one view. Yeah. And see, that's what he wants. He mentions me. Well, actually, he's a pussy. He doesn't even say my name. Say my name, bitch. Right? Say my name, you bitch. Don't just say the angry channel, right? He says things about me just so you, my viewers, will tune in to see what trash he's talking. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give him a single view. Let him say whatever he's going to say. I don't care. Though people have sent me clips, and I did clip a few things because eventually I'm going to have to put him on blast again if he keeps up his nonsense, right? My advice to Rich is to just shut his mouth, keep my name out of his mouth. Don't say anything about me because he can't go where we're going. He can't be successful on his own. He had to suck the you-know-whats of third phase in order to get where he is, right? And he ain't too far ahead of me, and I did this all on my own without selling out. Oh, with the help of Spooky, of course, doing graphics and thumbnails and occasional video edits and things like that. I do have a little bit of help from Spooky, which we're incredibly thankful for, but I didn't sell out to UFO hoaxers like he did to get the subscribers, right? And I didn't have to attack a bunch of people that were friendly to me or my friends who spoke out against the frauds third phase. Rich did. He had to, because that's one of the things I'm told, that they pay him to go after their critics because they're cowards and intellectual weaklings and they can't do it. So they pay somebody like him to talk the trash, right? And try to turn people away or against people who are critical of them. And that tells you a lot about them. Can't even defend themselves. And he loves to say that I started this rift between us. No, I can show you the clips. I got in an argument with Third Phase of Moon, and then very next day, Rich did a show putting me on blast for arguing with Third Phase of Moon. And by the way, me and Solar Marshall were 100% correct when we got in that argument with Third Phase, and they were wrong. They lied through their teeth on Alien Scientist show. And we later proved that they lied through their teeth. So I got in an argument with Third Phase, and I called them frauds and hoaxers. And I said that what they do is disinformation. They put up fake videos on purpose. And as is true to his nature and his job for them, he put me on blast the very next night. I have both whole shows. I can play them. But he persists. He continues to lie through his fake teeth and tell people that I started this. I didn't start anything. I was fine with him. I didn't say anything about him at all when I got in an argument with Third Phase. And the very next day, he puts me on blast. Then he starts suggesting I have pedo friends. He starts saying that I too could be a pedo with absolutely no evidence, absolutely no proof. Then he makes a video making fun of my paralyzed eye because that's just what kind of good person he is. And, somebody told me that he's losing his mind a little bit on his show. He's saying things like, I've been thinking about it and all these people that I've had problems with, yeah, maybe I am the problem. You are the problem, dude. You are the problem. It's not everybody. Really, I'll give him the Fister idiot because that guy's a piece of crap. I'll give him that one, right? For getting in a big, for ending a friendship. The Fister is a piece of crap. So I'll give him that one. But what about Anthony? from unidentified S4. He's had big problems with him. He put him on blast. What about Josh and Artemis? What about the Out There channel? The Out There channel never did anything to him. The Out There channel correctly showed everybody that Third Phase was putting up fake shit. And then Rich went after the Out There channel because that's part of his job, to be their attack dog. And by the way, Rich called the Out There channel a pedo with no evidence, no proof, nothing. And I have clips of that as well, right? And let's see, he has a problem with Christina Gomez. Now he's going after Lou Angeles. Yeah, all these people, right? How many is that? He's going after Anthony and Andy from Unidentified S4. That's 2. Josh and Artemis, that's 3, 4. Me, that's 5. The Out There channel, that's 6. Lou Angeles, that's 7, right? So at some point, yeah, he does have to ask himself, are all these 7 people the problem, or is he the problem? And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is what he does. On a slow day, when he has nothing to talk about, he just puts people on blast so he has something to do for the show to beg for super chats. And he knows that that kind of drama will generate some views for him, even if it's hate views of the fans of the people that he's talking smack on. They'll tune in to hear what he's saying. So he'll get some views and he'll get through that one day where it's really slow day and there's nothing to talk about. He has done it time and time again. And I could show you that there was nothing going on those nights or days that he went and put people on blast that were his friends. And he has lost all of these people that were either friends or potential friends. And he's off there by himself with the Third Phase of fake idiots. Those are his only friends left. And that's a sad place to be. And I wouldn't want to be there. Talmud, I used to go to his channel and see what stupid S comes out of his mouth, but I stopped going to. Good, yeah. Not one view. Don't give him any views, right? Yeah, Dr. J is another disinformation garbage peddler, right? Mystery Eon says, you need a trench coat like Trixie with UFO cutouts on the inside. Psst, want to buy a UFO? Yeah, and I'll be able to 3D print them. He said I was the reason he had problems with his channel. I don't know what that means, though, Kate Schneider. How am I the problem with his channel? Does he mean that his views are in the shitter? Yeah, maybe I am the problem because people would rather tune in to see a well-prepared, well-researched show with something to actually share and contribute rather than him commentating over TikTok UFO videos or throwing in his political, that's a problem too. I'd stay out of politics here, Kate Schneider. I don't want to alienate one side or the other. And by the way, I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I think they're all criminals. And so it's easy for me, but he keeps throwing in his right-wing agenda politics. By the way, he calls me woke, not realizing that I am, I don't know what you would call me politically, but I'm a huge supporter of free speech. I'm a huge supporter of states' rights. I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment. So most people will call me right-leaning, not leftist woke, but he puts everybody in that category that's his enemy. Oh, they must be woke. And I've said it before. Yeah, I'm woke because I don't fat shame people. I'm woke because I don't make fun of disabled people. I'm woke because I don't talk about some girl's breasts that I don't even know, right? I'm woke because I don't make fun of trans people. I'm woke because, I don't call people pedos. No, that's not being woke, Rich. That's called being a decent human being. And I think it's funny that he's having an internal conflict right now, right? He's going, maybe I am the problem. I'm thinking about this. Oh, maybe it is me. Yeah, it's you. You're the problem, man. And I don't want this to sound arrogant, but I'm a pretty amazing friend to have. Ask anybody who's my friend. I will give you the shirt off my back. I will show up at your house when you need your house painted. I will help you move. I'll pick you up at the airport. I will do anything for people that I call a friend, right? I will support them. I will do, I've done music for some of my friends. I've helped some of my friends that are filmmakers with special effects or whatever they needed, right? Or I've done, the point is, to the people I call my friends, I go to the ends of the earth for. I will do anything for people that I consider a friend. So really, I didn't lose anything in this disagreement. He did. He lost somebody like me who has awesome talents, abilities, and skills and is very generous to his friends. He screwed the pooch on this. And again, there's some stuff that I wish that I could jam it right in his. I wish I could jam him with some of the stuff that's going to be happening in the coming months to me and to the show here and to some other things that are happening. But he can't go where we go. But I think it's funny. You picked a stupid time to come after me like a dummy because you could have shared in my success that's coming very soon. You could share in these bigger and better things that I'll be doing. But now he won't because he's stupid and decided to become involved in a disagreement between me and Third Phase that had nothing to do with him. Yeah, let's take a look here, Cosmic Neighbors. Where are you at? And by the way, I'm mad at Ron from Cosmic Neighbors. He's cheating too because suddenly he's got Michael Schratt on his show every week now. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're very close. Let's do that this week, Ron. Yeah, we can get you over the hump. But God damn it, you better convince Michael Schratt to do a weekly show with me too. How the hell? I wouldn't even have asked for that. Like, by the way, I need you to do this every week for me. That's not fair. How the hell is it fair that Ron from Cosmic Neighbors has Michael Schratt doing a weekly show with him and Jim Goodall, right? I'm lucky to get either of those two guys as guests. By the way, I have to get Jim Goodall to talk about the SR-71 Blackbird. I've never done that. It's been on my list. We talked about doing it, and then he, I don't know. IR Film. Rich lost me a while back now after blaming me for BS, B. Baker. Yeah. Yeah, Ron from Cosmic Neighbors, he's cheating too. He's using the Schratt bump, and that ain't fair. Because there's people that tune in to everything Michael Schratt does, including me. So he's getting even views from me. This shit is not fair. Hell, wait till I talk to him, Ron from Cosmic Neighbors. I'm going to bust his balls. How dare Michael Schratt agree to do a weekly show with Ron from Cosmic Neighbors and not me? If Michael Schratt wanted to do a weekly show, he should have done it here. Okay? That's some bull. But I'll still help Ron. Yes, I know. And Jim Goodall. Yeah, rub it in. Rub it in, Ron. Right? Goofon should have seen the light and joined you. Instead, he shovels garbage. Yeah, that's where we're at. And that's where we find ourselves, right? Goofon would have hated and called out Third Phase if he didn't get caught up with those guys. He's a big hypocrite from his own standards. Well, according to him, he used to be very critical of them. And then they started talking and he got to know them, right? You're Ron. I'm telling Dark Journalist that Ron's messing with his girlfriend. I'll rat him out. That's how I'll get him back for having Michael Schratt as a weekly broadcast. I'll get Dark Journalist turned against him. He does a Saturday night show with the dioramas. He's playing with your toys with you too. This is ridiculous, Ron from Cosmic Neighbors, right? World of Chaos says all that glitters ain't gold. Yeah. And, Rich built his whole show and his channel sucking subscribers off of Third Phase. He couldn't have done that on his own because he's not that good a show host. Let's just be honest, right? What does he do? Stupid voices, talking to his mother who's not there about meatballs. That's supposed to be funny. That's supposed to be, I guess it's entertaining if you like, if you want to watch an idiot, right? I don't get it. Blaming, bitching subs and dollars. Yeah, well, I don't even know. I thought that you had Rich on one of your recent live streams. It was the episode about the crazy lady with the weird name, starts with an A. She was doing a press conference in DC. Hi, Miss Tessa Marie. Good to see you. No, that was months and months and months ago. And since then, Rich has decided to say that I have pedo friends and I may be a pedo. Of course, there's no evidence of that. He's just making stuff up because that's what he does. He calls anybody, Rich calls anybody who is critical of third phase a pedo. He did it to a few other people that I'm aware of. And then he made a video making fun of my paralyzed eye, saying, oh, I got one ball and all this nonsense, supposedly a parody of me, but he was making fun of a physical disability. Then he fat shamed a few different people, including the one time I got abducted by aliens. He got in a fight with Josh and Artemis over I don't even know what. And then he went after Anthony from Unidentified S4. And, you know, all of us were friendly until then. But, yeah, and he started it. He tells everybody I started it, but no, he started it. And like I said, I'm an awesome friend to have. I don't pat myself on the back very much, but I will say that I'm a good friend to have. I will do anything for a friend, especially a friend in need. Usually people that are in need, that are my friends, don't even have to ask. I just figure out they need something and I help them, you know. It's his fault, right? The S4 thing was not cool at all. No, everybody makes a mistake. Anthony from Unidentified S4 cannot make a mistake once, but third phase can make a mistake in February, March, April, and May. And he's perfectly okay with them posting fake shit. And third phase knew that they were posting fake shit, and they did it anyway. Anthony made a mistake posting a video that people assumed that he shot the video when he didn't. He was using it as a, you know, from what I understand, Anthony was using that video because it was the closest thing that he could find to what he actually one time witnessed, right? Yeah. Wendell Lambo says he's dumb as rocks and a right-wing zealot. Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to waste any more time on him. I regret even saying anything about him. He loves it. He feels like he is, you know, he's certainly not on my mind. People keep sending me clips of stupid shit he says, though. And, you know, especially if he says something about me, people tell me. But like I said, sometimes you just got to put people in your rear view. And he can't go where we're going. And he's in my rear view. And that's where he's going to stay, right? Yes, Cosmic Neighbor says as an example of what he had seen. Yeah. I never liked Richard's channel. I'm so happy you hear you don't like him anymore. He always seemed like a dud, and here he's making fun of you, Steven. That's so messed up. Yeah, Tessa Marie, it is. And like I said, I'm a good friend to have. So, you know, sometimes you need to ask yourself, what is the value of a really, really good, generous friend that would literally do anything for you? What is that worth? You know, I sometimes struggle with making friends. I'm believe it or not, I'm very introverted when I'm not on this webcam, and I'm not very social, right? So I've struggled my whole life to make friends and things. I know the value of a really, really close, good friend that would do anything for you. And it's immeasurable. You can't even put a value on it. So why throw away something like that? It's stupid. It's stupid. How many really good friends that would do anything for you are you going to find or get in your life? The answer is not many. And I value every single one of mine. And, you know, yeah, World in Chaos says no more wasted time on that guy. That's what it is. It's wasted time. Steve Long says, well, Steve's do make best friends. It's facts. And by the way, Steve Long, message me because I want you to come back on the show. I think that would be good. And I could use the favor, and I'll owe you a favor. Truth seekers, when you see true friends, it's like no time passed since you last saw them last. They don't judge you. and the energy is always true. Yeah, but to be clear, sometimes you got to cut ties and move on. You know, somebody calls you something like the P word or suggests that you may be one. Somebody makes fun of your physical disability. You know, I mean, like, think about this. If somebody was in a wheelchair and somebody made fun of them being in a wheelchair, would they stay their friend? The same is true for somebody making fun of my paralyzed eye. If you go that low that you got to make fun of my paralyzed eye because you got nothing on me, that's all you got, right? Then you're a piece of shit. And I will cut you out of my life like a cancer, right? Goofon was on the chat in UFO Proof when Third Phase was on the show. Third Phase went off on me, calling me a disinformation agent and a liar. Rich, my supposed friend at the time, said nothing. Yeah, well, that's what he does. He's got to protect that money source, and his money source is all coming from Third Phase. Real friends come along about 1 out of 167 attempts. I think your math is probably accurate, right? I think Riot has a man crush on Long. Maybe. Third Phase of Moon with other 800,000 subscribers somehow into MK Ultra remote viewing, because every time they show up, I press remote and zap away. No, it's Rich from Goofon, not Rich from Richard Dolan. But rewind and you'll hear some dirt on Richard Dolan as well. Richard Dolan's working for a child rapist, and he blocked me because I asked him why. Or working with, I don't know what the exact arrangement is, but the KGRA program director, and Richard Dolan's show is on KGRA, is a convicted violent child rapist, a convicted sexual predator of children. And I asked Richard Dolan about that several times on Twitter, and I got blocked for it. You look like Kylo Ren in shades. You said you'd take that. I would, because Adam Driver's a rich and famous movie star. So if somebody says you look like a rich and famous movie star, you take it, right? Yes, Kate Schneider says, B. Baker, you have better friends here. Yes, he does. And by the way, I want to thank B. Baker is starting to book guests for me, because I'm overwhelmed with some of the things that I've been working on. And every little bit of help helps. So I got to get with you on that, B. Baker. And I just want to make sure I understand who and the date. And then I got to research the guests. And then I guess talk to them first. You suggested I talk to them first. Sometimes I don't. I just go talk to them for the first time on the live stream, you know. And Kate Schneider is here. And I just want to remind her that I'm still asking dark journalists for an interview. And I have been for, I don't know, 3 years, you know. I don't know if you have any influence you might be able to exert, you know. I'm positive that if Kate Schneider just cut off dark journalists from Happy Fun Time at night until he did the interview, he would be here tomorrow night, Kate Schneider. If you cut him off, he would be here doing that interview the very next day. I guarantee it. But I guess Kate Schneider doesn't want to pull that. She's got to save the JJ card for stuff she wants, not stuff I want. But I'm always glad to see Kate Schneider. She's interesting conspiracy land character as any. You like a character for a cyberpunk novel, especially with the Joy Division shirt. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Anthony Peterson. What happened to Sixth Sense? No, Sixth Sense quit. He got pissed off because here's what I understand. Sixth Sense got pissed off because people were posting things that was anti-Democrat in the live or in our Discord server, our chat server. And at the point where we started the Discord server, I could moderate and remove posts or whatever. But apparently, you know, we're up to like 400 messages a day in there or something ridiculous. I can't control what people post in the Discord. And he got all huffy and pissed off. And then I kept asking him, like, what do you want me to do, Six? What would resolve this for you? He didn't like that people were posting about like adrenochrome babies and Hillary Clinton or something. And And I said, well, what do you want me to do? Because I can't moderate all those posts or fact check every post. And then he just got pissed off and blocked me on Twitter, and I haven't heard from him since. I hope he's okay. And I miss him. And I'm sorry that he got pissed off and didn't give me the problem is he didn't give me any opportunity to resolve whatever his conflict or problem was. I would have certainly done that if he had given me a reasonable solution. Like, I don't know, what is a reasonable solution? I can't moderate everything that people post in the Discord or fact check every article that people are posting, every video that people are posting. And I think it was that people were posting very right-leaning things, and he didn't like that. But that's my understanding of it, and I could be wrong. I don't know. He just got pissed off and went off in a huff, so he quit. And, you know, I don't know what happened. B. Baker reminding everybody to join our Discord. Yes. So we're just almost, yeah. He blocked everyone on Twitter. So I don't know what happened, but I miss him and I hope he's okay. And I wish him the best. And I hope, I had thought that he would get over it in a day or two and, you know, be reasonable and come back. I don't know. And wherever he is, I hope he's okay. Are you going to work on the Dark Journalist interview? Kate Schneider says, I'm with you, Stephen. I am. All you got to do is pull out that VJJ card. Just cut him off, Kate Schneider. Just cut him off. Just say, look, I like Truthseekers, and Stephen's trying to grow his show, and it would really be a good thing if you did that interview he's been asking you for. And then just go frigid on him for a few days. He'll crack in a minute. Most men would. Have you seen Kate Schneider? Most men would crack in a minute. You know, whatever you want, honey. That Discord always gave me a hard time. Sorry to hear about it. I wasn't real big on Discord when I first started using it, but it's easy after you figure it out. That's unfortunate, Rugged Source says. Hopefully he does come back. Yeah, I hope that he does. You know, I miss him. I liked having him around, right? And according to Cosmic Neighbors, he blocked everyone on Twitter. Tim Houston says, love Joy Division. Yeah, I was a pretty big fan of Joy Division. I liked all that older stuff when I was growing up. That was truly before my time, but I still got to, I hung out at like weird record stores that had a lot of used old records and things. So I used to get vinyls of Joy Division and old Depeche Mode and old Cure and Susie and the Banshees. And I miss those days. I miss record stores. Remember those, right? Kate Schneider says she loves me. Yeah, well, you better tell Dark Journalist. Yeah, better help us out, right? B. Baker says, 6 Cents wanted us to fact check. But that, don't you agree, B. Baker, that it'd be like nearly impossible? It would take somebody hours and hours and hours a day to go through everything that people are saying or posting in the Discord. It's just too much. I couldn't pay a full-time staff member to do that. You know, I just didn't. The thing that bothered me is that he didn't give me a solution. You know, I thought, well, what do you want me to do? You know, and then, I don't know. It is unfortunate, and I miss him, and I hope he's doing good, and I hope he comes back when he gets over whatever, you know, bug was up his butt. I don't know, and that's what was weird about it is like I didn't quite understand. He was trying to explain to me why he was so pissed, but he just kept saying, "You're supposed to be the truth seeker. You can't have people posting this and this and this, and why are you allowing this?" And you know, and I can't censor things. First of all, it's a free speech zone in there, and we don't have the staff required to. Yeah, I agree. B. Baker says the only thing we censor in the Discord is personal attacks, threats, etc. And I leave it up to the intelligent people in our Discord to realize that when somebody's talking about adrenochrome drinking Hillary Clinton, it's probably not, you know, factually correct, even though some people think she does drink and drink. I don't know. Daniel was over there on Sean's channel. That guy has a resemblance to Lando's assistant on Cloud City. Yeah, you're right. Vinyl never left, son. I want a vinyl. I want a turntable for the cabin. I really do. In fact, you know about that other project. For that, I'm going to get a turntable, record player, something. I have such fond memories of being a kid, spooky. And when I was a little kid, my brother was 3 years older than me, and he had all this heavy metal and rock, and I would love just to look at the vinyl covers. You know, they were so big, you know, you get this, it wasn't a little CD, it was this big, you know, and Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon, and Queen with the robots, and just the album covers were so cool back then, and AC/DC, Hell's Bells, and all that stuff. And I would get, and I think we used to get in fights, me and my brother, because he didn't want me messing with his records, and I would. When he wasn't home, I would take them out and put them on and try not to scratch them, because if they did get scratched, he would think I did it. Mystery Eon says, I used to watch a conspiracy channel on here back 2010. I think it was called Voodoo 666 or something. He was an ex-American soldier. He went dark suddenly. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I'm going to see if I can't get into that. That I can. I believe that I can. I want to also wish my mother-in-law, who I really consider like my mom now, especially since my mom passed away, a happy birthday. And also, let's, okay, 1 second. Let me, oh man. I have something to share. This is, again, for third phase of fake. Look at these idiots. We spoke with Jaime Maussan about Dr. Reed's case. Jaime Maussan has confirmed that his story is real. Jaime told us that they tested the area around the obelisk and it was radioactive. So there we have third phase of moon, a hoax or fraud. At Dr. J's show, who's hosting a fake doctor hoax and a fraud, telling everybody that it's real. Those third phase of moon. And who told them it was real? Jaime Maussan, the king of fake hoax alien stories, told third phase of moon, the kings of fake UFO videos, that Dr. Reed is the real deal. He's a fake doctor. Blake and Brent Cousins, you dummies, you idiots. You are stupid, stupid people. The both of you. The two of you together don't equal the intelligence of one average man. That's probably why there needs to be two of you. The twin doofuses. This stuff pisses me off. It really does. Because, you know, they got a big bullhorn and they're running around telling people that Dr. Reed his story is true, right? Yeah. And we're going to do something about Dr. J and the fake, stupid Dr. Reed, right? We're not going to let that go. We are not going to let that go. And I'm trying to find something that somebody sent me earlier. Somebody sent me a Facebook message earlier. And I'm trying to find it, so please just bear with me a moment. I apologize to you audio listeners. But now would be a good time to remind the people listening in audio podcast land that you're missing half the fun. Please do go on over to YouTube and hit the search bar, the little magnifying glass. Put Truthseekers, one word. You'll see me, the strange guy with the sunglasses, pop up. That's our Truthseekers YouTube channel, our home base. Go to that channel, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you too will know when we're doing a live taping. You can come here and participate in our live chat, ask questions, offer comments, commentary. We have a very interactive chat. And you are most welcome. So if you're listening in audio podcast land, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Truth Seekers, one word. And Martin Willis, I wanted everybody put out a prayer request. I don't know if you're a praying person. If you're not, maybe you could just visualize healing white light energy or whatever those new age people say. Me, I'm a prayer, so I will be praying for him. Martin Willis apparently will be away for several weeks due to emergency open heart surgery. And Dean Aliato will be hosting shows until Martin is able to return. And we want to keep Martin Willis in our thoughts and prayers. Wish him the best. Hopefully he will be okay through the surgery and experience a full recovery. We here at Truth Seekers wish Martin Willis the best. And we want to remind everybody to keep him in your prayers. That's open heart surgery is a really tough thing I could imagine to go through. So I would appreciate everybody keeping him in your prayers, right? Hank McGurk says, I see you passed along my message. Met the man today. Yeah, well, let's keep him in our prayers. That's a lot to go through. I know. It's Fraud Power Cubed. They've got Masan, Dr. Jonathan Reed, and Third Phase. And oh, yeah, where are you at on this, Rich from Goofon? Your employers are right now telling everybody that the Dr. Jonathan Reed case is true and real. Your employers are telling everybody that a fake doctor's story is real. Did you know his education is fake, Rich? Did you know that his entire work history is fake, Rich? And we've got the receipts to prove it all. Did you know that he lied about his dog dying? And we've got an on-the-record statement from one of his neighbors at the time who said that that dog was well alive years and years and years after his original hoax, where he claimed aliens killed his dog. Did you know that one of the people that Dr. Jonathan, the fake Dr. Jonathan Reed, did that hoax with came out later and admitted that it was all fake and he helped Jonathan Reed fake it? Did you know that he used a fake doctor in claiming that somebody had analyzed tissue samples, and that fake doctor was somebody that worked at like his local 7-Eleven, the gas station convenience store closest to his house, that was a high school dropout that he claimed was a doctor? Did you know that, Rich from Goofon? And there's your idiot employers right there pumping up a fake doctor. And you have to make excuses for that now. This is beautiful. Rich from Goofon is going to have to defend the Dr. Jonathan Reed case, the hokiest, most bullshit case in the history of alien encounters. And Rich from Goofon, your employers are telling everybody that that's a real case. So now you're going to have to defend a complete and total fraud, Rich from Goofon. Let's hear it. What's your defense of your employers? Or are you finally going to grow a set of balls and tell everybody that your employers are liars, that Third Phase lied, that that guy's a fake doctor with a fake education and a fake job history and a fake background, who is literally faking himself in photos with the Pope and telling everybody that he had an audience with the Pope? There's papal records. We checked. Dr. Jonathan Reed's not in any of the papal records, Rich. What are you going to do now? Are you going to defend Third Phase, or are you going to come after me? How are you going to come after me? Everybody knows that that guy's fake. We proved it here. UFO Watchdog proved it at the time. In the 90s, proved it was all fake. But your employers have said that that case is real because your employers are idiots, Rich from Goofon. The cousin brothers, that's why there's two of them. There's twins because the two of those idiots together can barely equal the intelligence of a low average intelligence man, the two of them together. The two dummies got to put their dummy heads together, and they don't even come close to the average intelligence. It's fraud squared, Rich from Goofon. They said that Jaime Maussan, a hoaxer extraordinaire, the guy behind the Roswell slides, the guy behind the fake Nazca mummies, you know, where they glued a bunch of dead people's body parts together and said that they were alien mummies. That guy told Third Phase that Dr. Reed is real. So they're telling people that Dr. Reed case is real. And you, Rich from Goofon, you're going to have to defend that. Because you can't bite the hand that feeds, can you? I knew that this was going to come and bite him in the ass, this working for Third Phase. I didn't know it was going to be this fast. Wow, that's beautiful. Great. I feel better now because now Rich from Goofon is going to have to explain why his employers are doing the fraud power cubed with Jaime Maussan, the fake Dr. Jonathan Reed, and them. And Rich has got to defend that, B. Baker. He can't admit that Third Phase, who he works for, are full of it. He can't admit it. It's great. All right, so we'll take a few more comments and questions, right? Goofon has a scam cooked up by two guys in a convenience store in West Seattle. Yeah, he has to unidentified S4 is here calling him Goofon Clown. Yeah, great. I know I'm on my own since last video of Dolan Wilson notes. I don't know, Bob Perkins. You can message me. I could be getting it wrong, but I don't think so. Remember the Dan Burrish fairy tale, Stephen? Yes, I do. Rugged Source says, I'm not a fan of Third Phase, but they are making decent money for being dumb. Yeah, maybe they're smarter than me when it comes to, but it's scam money, though, Rugged Source. It's not money from an honest source, right? Kate Schneider says, Goofon lives in perpetual cognitive dissonance. He can't hold himself to his own standards. Yeah, so that's going to create a psychological schism in him, and it's going to drive him crazy. Wait, Goofon has been bashing Jaime Maussan, and now what? Like buddies. Wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now he's going to have to defend Jaime Maussan because the Third Phase idiots like him and are using him. You see how these people, it's like one fraud reinforces the other fraud. We've got fraud Jaime Maussan pumping up fraud fake Dr. Jonathan Reed, right? And then Third Phase is involved. So yeah, it's the power of fraud squared. And thank you, 76-degree pyramid power, for the kind and generous $5 super chat and being a member. Thank you so much for your kindness, generosity, and support. We appreciate you and all of our kind and generous benefactors. Thank you so much. 76-degree pyramid. And thanks for becoming a member. We love all of our members. By the way, I'm going to be posting a very important video to the members section and to Patreon tomorrow probably. And it will be the biggest, I think it's the most important story that I've ever investigated. It involves a murder and all the well-known UFO celebrities. Elizondo, Christopher Mellon, Eric Davis, George Knapp, many, many, many others. It's a really shocking story. Rich also said Jim Del Toso has really, really bad BO and didn't like to. Only mods can drop a link. You can email the show, truthseekershow@gmail.com. Yes, or you can DM me on Twitter or whatever. Get me the link. I'll check it out. I remembered Voodoo 6 was his name. He was like Secure Team before they existed. Mark T. Truthseekers. Wait, who are you? Why are you here? Dolan protecting it with Grant Cameron out of ego. Yeah. Yeah, of course they are. And we're going to cover that, right? So we're well over 3 hours here, and I only expected tonight to be in 2 hours. So we got bonus time tonight, went into overtime. We appreciate you sticking around for all of this time. We had a great audience tonight, which I'm happy about. High live chat numbers, many, many people tuning in live. If you're listening to the replay, I can remind you that you can just throw money at us when we're live broadcasting, but there's also the super thanks. So if you want to support us, that's a great way to do it. And you get it shows up real big in the comments to the video that you supported our show. Otherwise, there's Patreon and channel membership or PayPal or Cash App. Instructions in the video. I'm a terrible salesperson, but if you want to help our show, that's one of the best ways to do it. The other best way to do it is to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. We appreciate each and every one of you doing that. I see a lot of you retweeting my tweets when we tweet a show on Twitter. That really helps. I see a lot of you people sharing the show that we share on Facebook. That really, really does help. I appreciate every single one of you when I see you do that. And thanks. Unidentified S4 sent me the screenshot of Blake of Third Phase saying that Dr. Jonathan Reed's case is real because Jaime Maussan says so. Solar Marshall, I heard that you busted his balls real bad in Alien Scientist chat. I got to go watch the chat replay to see what you said. But good to see you, Solar Marshall. Yeah. So we are going to bounce on out of here, friends. But we will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I realize that we're one show behind for the week. Yesterday, I had my children all day, and you go spend from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. with a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old and see if you have the energy to do a 2-hour live show. You probably don't. Not if you have my kids. They ran me ragged all day, but I loved them, and we had a good time, and yeah, and they were real good today, so I'm thankful for that. So that's all I got for you tonight, friends. But I'll be back with more for you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please do come and join in the festivities tomorrow night. Maybe we'll have some good news from Kate Schneider, since she's going to be cutting off Dark Journalist from Happy Fun Time until he comes and does the interview I've been asking him for years. We might have some good news tomorrow. It depends on how willing Kate Schneider is to help us with our evil plan to get him finally in the seat, right? Yeah. All right, friends. I am going to bounce on out of here. That's all we got for you. Until next time, friends, my name is Stephen Cambian. Good night, and God bless all of you.